Hey guys, Todd Tucker here. I just want to welcome you to the Earthling Entertainment Podcast. We're going to talk about all kinds of things, special effects, makeups, puppets, great stuff, movie stuff. Check it out.
Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
I love it. I'm a fan of this. I'm here for it.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe and Ryan.
That's right. I'm your host who walked out of a mirror 2 weeks ago into a different dimension. Your dimension. I'm not from here, and you know what? The scariest thing of all? I don't know where your Joe went. Anyways, I'm Joe Wakefield. Sorry, I fell down a rabbit hole.
What's like the most different thing here than your mirror world?
It's literally kind of a mirror world. Like, I thought it was weird that everything was backwards. Like, our alphabet is literally backwards, and everything is just backwards. You think it'd be cool? No, exactly the same. Same political choices, same silly people, except literally backwards. So the weirdest thing is looking at someone and they're like lazy eyes on the other side.
Oh, all right. Well, that's not too bad. Hey, guys, I'm Ryan.
Small adjustments.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I mean, if you think about it, in an infinite different dimensions, like dimensions just go on and on and on, and every possibility is real. That means there are some that are exactly the same, except you chose the blue jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And in that one, a president got shot, so you're a dick.
Okay. Well, I mean, those are definite significant changes. Hi, guys. Welcome to Earthling Entertainment. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, sometimes we fall down rabbit holes.
We do that. It happens, especially here in the beginning.
That's true. That's true. But what the show actually is, for those of you who are just maybe joining us for the first time, what we do here is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cryptozoology. Other times it's a haunting, a myth, or a legend. But it's always spooky.
Oh, my God.
And that, of course, is also included with our pop culture stuff, where we have celebrity guests. We sometimes have quizzes. We always have genre news. And those two things are kind of layer caked on top of each other back and forth. You have the banter at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then we got spooky stuff, which is the cryptids,
That's
right?
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Pop culture. Then we got aliens. And then we got the real world weird, when something is kind of creepy, but not paranormal. Real world weird.
We pretty much stick to that schedule.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but today we got this awesome interview right there in the middle for Earth Pop. It is an interview with Todd Tucker. He is a makeup effects artist. He has done so many movies. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I know he worked on one of the Pirates of the Caribbean. He worked on
awesome.
Hook back in the day.
Really cool.
Yeah, he directed his own films, and we're gonna get into all of that. Like one day he actually was gonna play a villain on Power Rangers.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of fun stories here, and I kind of did deep dives on some of like the weird and smaller stuff, which, by the way, in interviews, some of those were hits and some of them weren't. Like, I was like, what about this obscure thing? And he's like, I didn't have anything to do with that. And I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, what about this thing? And he had a whole big long story. So luckily it turned out overall being a really awesome interview.
Oh, that's good.
I'm excited to share that with you guys. That's going to be around the middle of the show.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So, you were talking to me about like practical effects.
Yeah, because I mean that was what we were saying. Like, Todd Tucker does practical effects, so we were trying to figure out what was your favorite practical effect, like monster or monster movie. I don't know. What is yours? Do you have one in mind at all?
I mean, of course, right off the bat, I can't help but just go Jaws. I know that's like the classic,
fair
right?
enough.
And
that's a funny pick because Jaws always broke.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so good, right? Was they had to like do like work much harder on the rest of the film, the character development, and that's what ultimately made that movie what it is.
Yeah, the scarier thing is what you don't see.
Right. And but I mean, right off the bat, I can also say Gremlins, if that counts. I think
it counts.
Yeah, right. That was all practical effects, for the most part, and that was back in the day. That's like a movie from the 80s, right? Or the 90s?
It was definitely 80s.
80s,
you know what? I think I was trying to go more modern. So like when I was thinking of this, what popped in my head was do you remember, I don't know about every version of Underworld, but the first Underworld, where it was vampires and werewolves.
Yeah.
A lot of those werewolves were practical effects, pretty much a lot of the close-ups, and they had people on stilts and like costumes. I mean, obviously the CGI where they're running across the hallway is like, all right, clearly that's early 2000s questionable CGI, but like the close-up stuff.
I'm shocked you haven't brought up like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like that was live action practical effects that was incredible. And they like literally couldn't even like replicate it.
Yeah, it was
Like,
costumes. That's why each movie they got a little crappier. Like the first one was Jim Henson, and then by the third one, you're like, why do they have weird spots on their face?
They looked very strange in the third one, and they had like really buggy eyes.
They looked more like frogs.
Yeah, they were little, and bigger teeth. Like it was really it was really weird. Like everything about them was different, and I didn't like it, but I still love that movie.
I love that movie too, but you know what? I don't. When comparing special effects, I always think of like at the point in the mid '90s where Saban got the rights to do a Ninja Turtles live action show.
Okay,
and that was people in costumes. They even had a crossover with the Power Rangers, and that is what I compare as like the worst live action Ninja Turtles. That was the one where they had the girl turtle with turtle boobs for some reason named Venus.
Okay,
do you remember that one?
I do not.
Light blue band that tied in a braid. It was very girl. Well, everyone hated her.
Well, they also did a whole stage show coming out of our shells. They did a whole musical. It was really disturbing.
It was amazing. Oh, dude, I have the Coming Out of Our Shell cassette tape. I got it on eBay. And there's
incredible stuff.
Yeah. You know what? But I also have, for some reason.
But
no, hold on. It's fine. I don't need to grab it. I have the Are You Afraid of the Dark CD-ROM.
But I could keep going, right? The Mist, that movie, all those were I'm pretty sure touched up afterwards or whatever.
You know what the worst egregious thing of that is, though, is The Thing, because they did all practical effects and then they completely CGI'd all of it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think they kind of did that with The Mist. And yeah, now that you said it, the John Carpenter, the original The Thing, that was all practical effects, and that was insane.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you it's a given. It's like practical effects, The Thing.
The frickin' Thing. It was so good. I was actually just talking about that movie earlier today. It's just such a good movie.
It is a good movie.
And it like leaves you with like a question, like, who's infected? Are they
both infected?
Are neither of them?
Yeah. Either way, they're all gonna die.
Right.
That's good. I think they're doing another reboot, or they're either remaking it or having a sequel. I don't know. There was this game. The game was pretty good.
Oh?
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew there was a game.
Dude, there's everything. There's board games. You can get the board games of The Thing. For a while, I was getting board games of all kinds of movies. I was getting like Ghostbusters and like Alien, and some of them were better than others.
Okay.
Anyways, all of this is going way too down a rabbit hole.
Hey, but no, those you just asked practical effects. I've got, that's just to name a few. Tremors,
Oh, Tremors. Okay, you know what? Let's just say if we ever get to do anything like some kind of public screening of a weird cult film, Tremors might be the first one I would pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the 1990s Super Mario movie, because that had practical effects, tons of it.
Yes, but Ryan, we made an agreement that I was no longer able to bring up that film on the air. And that's
why I did.
So may I say it?
Just for you, yeah.
So may I say it? The 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie is actually the greatest movie and the best cinematic achievement of that generation. Fight me on this, people.
Please do. Please fight him on this. I'm begging you. Listener, hit us up.
It's
Earthling Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com and fight this man.
That's right. And not only that, guys, if you want to hit us up on our email, you could tell us any of your own supernatural and spooky stories, because that's a lot of what we do here on the show.
That's right.
Yeah, we wanted to pitch more to the paranormal crowd, because I'm trying to get a couple of paranormal investigators over the next 6 months.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I want to really lean into the spooky. But
well, I mean, we're in a good spot for it, and man, it would be really cool to do a ghost hunt of Greenfield Village at night. You used to work there.
I did.
You were the night shift security guard. You had to do the creepy shit.
I was Scooby doing it.
Yeah, you call me every now and then and be like, "Hey,
it
stay on the
scary.
phone."
You know what though? I would do Eloise Asylum, because it's close and it's more haunted. But the problem is they openly advertise come do your own ghost hunt, $1,000.
Yeah,
anyone could do it. So I don't know how interested Eloise is anymore. You're gonna go there, the ghosts are just be like, God, another one?
I just saw something about him. Like, I don't know. It looked like maybe they might be done doing the haunted house thing.
Oh, maybe someone got hurt.
I don't know, but
I don't
I
know.
saw something posted about it. I think it was just monetarily not working out.
That doesn't make sense. I went to it one time and they're making hand over fist money.
That makes right.
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
I don't know how much money they were spending on it. It looked like a very elaborate haunted
Like,
house.
I'm
There's big
guessing-
animatronics. It was very cool.
But the property tax has to be pretty crazy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot that we don't understand that goes probably into that. And they're only open one
Why you
time
got to
a year.
belittle me, Ryan?
They're only open a month a
You don't-
year.
hold on. You don't, yeah, but that's okay. For one, that's what I was saying. They pay people to do the paranormal investigator stuff. But you're right. Maybe if they don't do that many, if they don't book that many, you don't gotta.
I'm just
negative.
I'm not
man.
being. I'm just talking. I'm just I'm
Listen,
coming up with
Ryan has a
stuff.
bad day of work, and he's just like,
I did
everything fails.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I had a decent day. I'm just really tired. Yeah, we
Excellent.
worked our butts off. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. You tired?
Making trucks and giving no fucks. That's right.
Fair enough.
That's what I do.
Well, you know what you should do, Ryan, when you're just not done like working, when you're off the line, you know what you got to do?
What?
You got to get to the movies.
Okay.
I'm serious because I just saw this movie that you're going to freaking love.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just saw a new movie too.
Oh my God. All right. You go first.
It's I think it's a Netflix original. It's called Swapped, and it's a
Okay.
kids movie.
I saw that too.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
With the birch tree deer and like the
And,
weird
the
leaf,
firewolf and
the firewolf.
dude,
Yeah.
it was honestly, I was very, very impressed. Like my kids and I loved it. So can't tell. I spent the weekend with my kids, so we found that, and it was a swapped weekend. We just watched that
Over and over again.
over and over again.
Well, guys, there's a recommendation from Ryan. Go
There
watch
you go.
Swapped on
And my
Netflix.
kids. Yeah, it's a good one. They loved it.
But if you're gonna go out to the theater, you know what you should see is
Sorry.
no, yeah, fine. Over your dead body. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always screw this up, and I don't know why, because I love this film and I love everybody in it. But it's over your dead body, right?
Yeah.
So it's over your
Yep, you had
dead
it.
body. It just I fuck it up every time.
Nah,
It's
you're
stupid.
fine. You had it. You
Anyways,
had it the first time.
Jason Segel is there and Samira Weaving, and they're like a couple. I'm gonna spoil the crap out of this movie, by the way. And the real reason is when I went and saw it on Sunday, it was the last showing, and it was one showing. So I honestly don't think you're gonna be able to see this in theaters much longer. But if you're planning on seeing this movie and you're interested, what do you think? Just 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Fast forward 2 minutes, and I will be done. All right.
That sounds fair.
All right. Excellent.
Okay, guys. So he's about to spoil it.
I'm going to spoil this movie. So Jason Segel and Samira Weaving are a couple. They're both in the film industry. She is an actress and he is a director. It starts out where the couple is, they're not doing well. They clearly have a lot of problems. Jason Segel is telling everyone of just like, oh, I'm telling her not to go on this hike that she's demanding on going on. It could be dangerous. Like it's clear that he's like, I'm going to try to kill her.
Oh.
Well, when they get to the cabin, he does end up setting up and getting ready to try to kill her. And right before he does, she gets the jump on him because she was also trying to kill him. Turns out it was both for the insurance money.
Dun dun dun.
And this goes on for a while, about maybe a third of the movie, before then convicts who escaped from the jail fall in through the ceiling.
As they do.
As they do. And what I love about this movie and so many movies like this is they jump back when like something surprising happens. They're like 5 hours ago, 3 days ago, and explain like how the new arrivals got to this point. Well, these convicts are insane and do terrible, terrible things. Really, what surprised me most is this is a dark comedy.
What's the rating?
It's R.
R.
But while it's a dark comedy, it was so brutal and bloody and like ridiculously bloody. There's this one character named Todd who just keeps getting like killed, and it's almost like a joke that he keeps getting back up. And it's not an over the top comedy though, because every time you think it's like too over the top, it reminds you that it's serious. Like a character almost gets raped. It is horrifying.
Oh crap! See, I
But
can't
it's
take that
but
shit.
it's not a woman thing, it's a prison thing. So the guy was like, I'm gonna do this.
That
and it's
doesn't
like,
make it any better.
it makes it a little better for some reason. I don't know. But the point is it doesn't happen, and it's played into the plot really, really well, because that's the breaking point of where the wife is like, no, I have hidden money. Don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's part of like what brings them back together.
Huh.
It is a ridiculous movie. It is a lot of fun. I totally recommend it, but it's so much more brutal than you think it's going to be. It's like really like a guy gets thrown his chest into a lawnmower at one point. It's just ridiculous.
Awesome.
Yes.
Sounds good.
But whether you see that movie or any movie, Mortal Kombat's coming next weekend.
That's true. And then, of course, Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
The 22nd of this month. Can't wait.
Oh man, that's true. I got my head on my eyes on just the next movie I'm going to see, so it's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, dude. And I'm excited for that as well. I like the first one that they did.
I have a prediction that they're going to kill the main character from that first movie immediately.
The bronze kneecap.
Yes, the bronze kneecap. Exactly. Anyway, guys, if you're headed out to the theater and you're in the Michigan area, I recommend going to MJR Theaters. They're friends of the show, and they are my favorite theater. Here's a little ad from them.
It's more fun at MJR.
Don't just go to the movies, experience them in Laser Ultra and the luxury of VIP seats exclusively at MJR Theaters. Our Laser Ultra auditoriums feature stunning 4K laser projection on a supersized screen and Dolby Atmos immersive sound that you can feel. Plus, you can relax in heated reclining VIP seats surrounded by your own personal privacy enclosure. Get your tickets to see the latest blockbusters in Laser Ultra at mjrtheaters.com.
So Star Wars Day was on Monday, May the 4th.
Yes. May the 4th. I hope it was with all of you.
That's right. I hope it was as well. It's definitely, one of my favorite holidays. I honestly do view it as a holiday. I watch how I do it now is I just watch all my favorite clips. I don't even bother with watching a whole movie. I watched the end of Return of the Jedi. I watched scenes from Rebels. I watched, just a couple things. So that's how I celebrate now is I just watch my favorite scenes.
Yeah, my kids are still too young. I have to watch things that are appropriate for them, but they did make a preschool Star Wars thing called Young Jedi Adventures. Yes. So I have been playing that for Perry. So I was able to do some Star Wars stuff. In a perfect world where my kids were older or I just had the time, I would do that weird where you watch everything in order, including the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including Obi-Wan right in the middle and just everything, I think it would take a day and a half, but that's a commitment I would make.
Right. So I've mentioned it on the podcast before. I am a collector of Star Wars helmets. Helmets are a big part of the franchise. And I was always obsessed as a kid. And I just always assumed I'm never going to have those, right? Because back in the day when we were younger, it's you had to be an avid dude who made a mold and made it, and it was expensive.
They weren't
right?
accessible. People had to actually make them. It would be the before internet version of Etsy. You got to track someone down at a nerd con,
and you're talking probably $1,000, right, for it. It was crazy, right? It was so because it was hard to get. And
yeah, can I just jump in for a second real quick?
Yeah.
The one very accurate costume I got was when I was very young. It was the Power Ranger movie came out in 1995, so it must have been 1996.
Yep.
And it was the ninja outfit. Well, they didn't sell it, so I had a stepmom at the time who was trying to earn my love, and she sewed it all together and made it because we were at Joann Fabrics and they had a print of here's all the things you got to do to make this costume. It was the most elaborate thing, the ninja hood, the cuffs, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, man, I loved her for a whole weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that worked out for her.
Yeah,
it's
probably worth, but it was the coolest costume ever. So I just wanted to relate that to being a screen accurate costume. So I understand the love for the helmets.
Yes, and it's I would love to see a picture of that, by the way, if you have it.
I actually do. I'll find it. Yeah,
I would love to see that. But yeah, so they make them pretty darn screen accurate, these Star Wars helmets, as I was talking about. And so I've just been collecting them because I was like, wait a minute, they're $100.
Right.
And I'm just
that's affordable as an adult.
I got adult money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not rich, but you got $100.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, so I went a little crazy.
I remember
these past
when
couple
I had
years.
$100.
Right. Oh yeah, I know. I know. But no, I'll admit I kind of did splurge on Monday. So I knew they were going to have, I believe it's called the Skiff Guard helmet, which is what Lando Calrissian is wearing in Return of the Jedi when they are being covert and wearing disguises in Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Sure. That's kind of like a helmet and more of like a weird face mask, and the face mask has
Yeah.
like little bones or teeth along the edges.
Yeah.
It's kind of I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So I knew that was coming because I had seen like a thing where it's like, okay, this will drop on Star Wars Day, and I'm like, oh, cool, all right.
Yeah, so
cool,
you were
good.
prepared. You knew you knew that money was spent.
I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because I don't have enough good guy helmets. There aren't that many good guy helmets. And
well, hold on. It's Star Wars. Helmets are kind of like a bad guy thing. Like, there's not that many good guy helmets.
well, I mean, other than like, I've got the X-wing fighter helmet.
Sure.
So I've got that one.
Right.
And
right.
then of course you got Mandalorian. I've got the armor. I've got Bo-Katan Kryze.
You know what? I want you to get an Inquisitor helmet, just like one of those really, really large ones.
Really?
Yeah, why not? That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. It's not a good guy, but it would be very funny. It's almost like a sombrero, like an oversized one.
Yeah. So, and it's funny. So since I looked this stuff up and my algorithm already knew what I was looking into. So now I'm getting ads on my social media about helmets from like other websites, right? And
Okay.
so I can't help myself because I see one of them has the Leia, the Yodo, the
Yes, when
helmet
she
that she
frees
wears.
Han Solo from Jabba's palace in
Yeah.
the beginning of Return of the Jedi. Yeah, it was kind of like orange and comes to like a cone with like a weird
And
visor.
it has the
Yeah.
cool visor and
Yeah.
like the cloth almost look to it, the leather. And I was like looking at that, and they wanted like $300 for it. I'm like, that's nuts, dude. So
Well,
like,
I
I got off
never-
that, and then I saw another website showing that same helmet, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they know I'm looking. So I look about the same price. I think it was like $270 something bucks.
So
I'm like,
this is all people like secondhand selling.
yeah,
it, right?
trying to get me. So I sign in on Monday. I was like 2,000 something in line on the website. That's how it is on the drop.
That is awesome that you're so into these helmets. You get into a queue to buy a helmet.
I got in the queue to buy it. So I get
Excellent.
the Lando helmet, throw it in my cart. I'm like, awesome. So I've got it like, filtered by newest stuff. I'm like, man, they put a lot of new stuff on there. And there was a lot of cool shit. Like there was like Mythosaur skull that was like chrome and this big. You could put up on your wall. That was freaking awesome.
I might do something that silly, but you got to really lean in. If you're going to go with like fake
Yeah.
fantasy taxidermy, I want like a taxidermied, like, what is it? The green lion from He-Man and shit. I want to go all out.
Right,
Yeah, remember back when the dude who was had an Airbnb for Jurassic Park was selling the dinosaurs?
Yes,
Perfect example.
it is a perfect example. And so I scroll and then there it is. The helmet that Leia wore. And it was $120.
Well, hot damn.
Got it. So
Of course you did.
So isn't that funny though? So I didn't even know that helmet was coming out. So I'm getting ads for that helmet being made by other people, right? Like completely different companies.
So is it a
making this.
completely different helmet? Like it was
It
a
was-
rip-off version of it? Or?
They design, they got their own website where they make these helmets. But like I said,
like,
they
haha, we have a 3D printer too.
and it's just interesting that that they knew that Disney was going to release that, so they were trying to get the jump on me and get me to spend the extra couple $100 for it.
Dude, that's devious, but it makes sense. The film industry does that all the time.
It's crazy.
I was flipping through my movies, like on Fandango at home. I'm about to buy a new digital movie, and you know what comes up? Immortal Kombat. Not Mortal Kombat, Immortal Kombat. They added 2 letters.
Well,
It's like, oh, you guys.
it's like this combat is quite boring. It
Yeah,
never ends
there's-
because they are
Smack,
immortal
Smack.
and
smack,
they
smack,
don't
smack.
die.
Smack, 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 smack.
So I hope you guys brought a lunch.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie, and
it's gonna take
after
a
the
long
second
time.
hour, it just gets sad.
Like, dude, they're just still going. Well, they can't die. So you knew what you signed up for. This is Immortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's got to be a series then, right? Like, it's got to go on for like
Forever.
season 10. It's just guy kicking like a bunch of mish. That's like, oh,
It hurts.
it hurts. Yeah.
It hurts.
Why won't I die?
Oh
Mortal
God,
Kombat.
this has gotten terrible. It's
I
like,
know.
man,
I was gonna get into like my favorite one was Snakes on a Train when Snakes on a Plane came out, but yours was just better.
it really fell off the rails at season 635. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, Jesus. This is a hell. What did I do to deserve this?
oh no.
I was supposed to be a day player.
Immortal Kombat. Test your patience.
Well, Ryan, I think that is a spooky enough topic to kind of transition into our first segment.
Oh, so that first segment being
This week's spooky stuff.
the Arkansas Gowrow.
Ah, damn Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. The Arkansas Gowrow is a fearsome critter said to live in the caves of Arkansas, mainly in Searcy County.
Specific.
The principal documentation of the creature's existence is a story that appeared in the Arkansas Gazette on January 31st, 1897, apparently written by Elbert Smithy. Elmer Burris provided an illustration allegedly based on a photograph to accompany the piece. An examination of the remains revealed a creature 20 feet in length, with 2 tusks, large webbed feet ending in claws, a row of short horns along its back, and a long, thin tail with a blade on the end. Those involved claimed to have sent the body to the Smithsonian Institution, but it never arrived at Washington, D.C. Museum.
It never. Of course, it never arrived.
They were like, no.
Yeah, like, no. You know, it's because some guy was on a train. He's just like, what is this pile of rotting meat? Yeah, we're just going to push it off the
He's
train.
like, well, there's a Gowrow.
Yeah. Didn't a similar thing happen where it was like from Australia, there was a cryptid that they tried to send back to England?
No, that was in France. That was the
the werewolf, the beast of...
Javaudan.
The beast of Javaudan.
Javaudan.
Anyways, that beast, yeah, they sent it to the king or whatever, and there's like,
Ew.
it's pretty gross.
Like, bro, no.
Oh, yeah. Freezer trucks. That's what we needed.
This is before the time of freezer trucks, I think.
I just can't think of a world before freezer trucks, Ryan.
Neither can I.
Ice cream men have changed my life.
That's right.
My father could have been an ice cream. I don't know.
You never know.
I mean, visiting at night in all the neighborhood. I do look more like him.
You do.
Anywho,
so
the joke does fall flat if you don't run with it.
I was.
All right, infidelity.
I had nothing. So the Ozark research of folklore collector Vance Rudolph revealed additional details about the Gowrow, which he believed had been reported as early as the 1880s. Randolph's sources suggested that the Gowrow was a species rather than an individual monstrosity. The young hatch from soft-shelled eggs as large as beer kegs, and the mother carried newly hatched infants in a pouch.
Okay, once again, that is very specific.
Quite specific. Yeah. That's why I love this one. I was like, huh.
But also, like, okay, you say it's a species, which I'm with you, but it's only in one county? I mean, I guess it could only...
Well, in the caves, right? So that's where it lives.
Okay, well, cave systems can go everywhere. I mean, you remember the movie, was it Us?
Oh, I don't
All
remember.
those people. Jordan Peele movie where there's like another version of the people and they're all from the caves.
Yeah.
All right, fine. How about Chud?
I remember Chud. I do remember Us.
Of course
now.
You remember Chud.
Of course I remember Chud.
What about Chud 2? Even chuddier.
You're ugly chud of a kid.
I want to make Chud 3. I feel like I could win the Oscar with Chud 3.
I honestly think there's something there.
I got places to go. I'm going to call it Chud 3 even chuddy. I don't know.
Even chuddier.
Yeah, we're done. It's fine. Move on.
Time to get chudsy.
Yeah. Getting chuddy with it.
Yes.
Da, 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 da,
I hear Will Smith's looking for work. So he also told of someone from, so this is kind of funny. I couldn't help but include this.
All right.
From Mena, Polk County, who claimed to have captured a Gowrow.
I got one in my backyard.
By inducing the critter to eat so many dried apples that it swelled to a size that prevented it from escaping into its burrow. The Gowrow's captor exhibited his catch to anyone who would pay a quarter.
That feels like an old-timey wise tale, doesn't it?
Once he had a sufficient audience, the man would stagger from behind the curtain with his clothes in rags, announcing that the Gowrow had escaped. This sent the crowd into a panic without having to produce an actual Gowrow.
That man is a goddamn genius, Ryan.
I had to add it because I'm like, so this was getting so famous that this guy's like,
I got a con for you.
I got an
Was
idea.
this like at a circus? It's just like, hey guys, I got this mythical piece. Goes out, comes out. Oh God, it got away.
It's probably going from like
Run.
little like
No,
settlement to settlement.
no
right?
money. No,
Like-
it's
Like,
I need to pay this.
run for your lives.
Run.
As his like pockets are jingling.
Oh crap! You know what it reminds me of? There was this great carnival. It was called Carnival. It was a HBO show. It was like a carnival during the Dust Bowl. But long story short, when they had a day where they had to do grifting, they had to like do all their cheapest tricks to get money because they were broke. One of them was getting people to come in and see the man-eating chicken. You know, they have
Okay.
a bunch of pictures like the man-eating chicken, the man-eating chicken. And they go in the room and the curtain opens and it's literally a dude sitting in a stool eating some chicken. It's a man-eating chicken. And when everyone gets all pissed off, they flip it because they're like, oh, hold on, guys, before you get angry, because I know you want your money back. Wouldn't it be better if you go to your neighbor and tell them to check out the man-eating chicken? Like making
you
it
can
like,
prank 'em.
yeah, prank people, and then they get to keep all the money. It was actually really smart, but that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why I had to include it because I was like, well, that's just hilarious.
That man is a gosh darn genius,
He's a-
Ryan.
we salute you.
Yeah, that is HBO writing level of genius.
So the Arkansas Gowrow made an official return in Lenwood S. Sharp's The Plaid Fairy Book in the chapter The Green Gowrow Killed in Searcy County. The chapter reads as follows. Mr. William Miller, the well-known businessman of the city, returned Friday from Searcy County. Mr. Miller tells a marvelous story of a discovery of the hitherto unknown monster near the town of Blanco in Calf Creek Township. For some time, I have heard reports, more or less vague, of the presence of this animal in Searcy County, said Mr. Miller. But I placed no credence on the tales that were told. About 2 weeks ago, I was called to Blanco on important business, and I determined to investigate the matter thoroughly while I was there. Immediately upon my arrival at Blanco, I made inquiries, and I was amazed to find that the people of the whole township and of St. Joe and Richland townships were in a fever of excitement over what they call the Gowrow, which they described as a terrible animal that slaughtered cattle, horses, hogs, dogs, and cats. The Gowrow had terrorized the community for several months, but through numerous attempts had been made to capture it, all of them proved unsuccessful. The animal would steal down from the mountains at night and commence its depredations. It would break into cowsheds and kill and devour cows and calves. Several times it had been interrupted in its bloodthirsty work, but it always managed to escape, carrying one of its victims with it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you made a friend. I don't know. The thing
No, I don't think they were friends.
they could have been. My big takeaway from this is you like we don't really live in a time like I guess if you're in some parts of the world you can like a bear could come in and stuff, but like living in a time where there's villages and there's just this beast like, oh, that thing in the woods, yeah, it comes out and kills people randomly.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Gowrow.
God, Mary, yeah.
Don't want to go into that cave.
like what a it sounds like a terrible time to live, don't misunderstand, but what a magical time to live, Ryan.
I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I always am a believer that like a lot of these cryptids were most likely true. Maybe they've died out. Maybe they're killed off by our own government, by whatever, by now. But yeah, back in the day, they were still dealing with these creatures. Like we have so many accounts.
Oh yeah.
So jumping back in, he said, I inquired why they called it the Gowrow and was told
What are we supposed to call it, Jim?
and I was told that the awful cry it uttered when engaged in its devilish work. During the recent snow, a youngster who resides in the neighborhood discovered the tracks of a Gowrow while out rabbit hunting. So that's why they call it Gowrow. So what does it go like? Gowrow.
Gowrow! It's like
Gowrow!
holy shit, it's a Pokemon. Yeah.
Gowrow.
Pika Pika.
Gowrow.
Gowrow.
There we go.
I'm a Gowrow.
So he's definitely a dark type, maybe a dragon dark type.
Yeah, I don't know. This thing is like 12 feet long, they said at the beginning of this, right? So the kid
Yeah.
notices tracks. Like, I'm trying to think of like what misidentification the tracks could be. Like, is it a bear? Is it like, some other woodland creature? But 12 feet, I mean, that's going to be a big Bigfoot. And they say it's webbed, right?
Yeah.
So you're
With
thinking
claws.
of, yeah. So you're thinking of like a big fan in the dirt, right? So that can't be misidentified as another animal.
I can't think of one other than maybe a very, very large alligator. That's the closest I got.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a moot point if it's a Gowrow or a giant alligator if it's coming down from the mountains and eating people. Like,
That's true.
Who really cares?
Yeah, who really cares at the end of the day?
I don't know if it's a Gowrow. I don't know if it's a crocodile. I'll tell you what it is, though. A dick.
He's a jerk. He certainly is. So, being alarmed at the ponderous size and peculiar shape, he fled in great consternation to a farmhouse and notified the inmates of the presence of the tracks. We formed a posse, armed ourselves with shotguns and Winchesters, and started in hot pursuit of the Gowrow. We followed.
It was a sexy pursuit.
That's right. They have a posse. We followed the tracks without difficulty for several miles through the newly fallen snow until they disappeared at the riverbank. The monster evidently entered the river and thus escaped its pursuers. A diligent search was made of the riverbank for a number of miles, which resulted in the discovery of an enormous cave that was so nicely concealed under the shelf of rock and so completely hidden by a thick clump of cedars that it was hitherto escaped and it escaped the notice of the inhabitants of the country. So this is old-timey speech here. I keep screwing that up.
Look, it was a hidden cave. No one saw it.
Hitherto escaped.
It was spooky. That's what it was.
That's right.
It sounds like it could be a giant alligator now that you bring it up, though.
Like maybe there's a possibility. I don't know.
I don't know. The tusks kind of not so much, though.
Yeah, and that's like a pretty prominent this
part of it. Yes. It is a defining feature.
Indeed.
Quiet.
So the ground had been worn smooth from the water's edge to where the cave entered the rock, as though some ponderous body had been repeatedly dragged over it. We soon secured lightwood torches and, nothing daunted, entered the cavern, where we were confronted by a sight that made each particular hair stand on end like quills upon the fretful porcupine.
Man, how this guy's freaking poetic.
Poetic, yes.
Poetic, yes.
It is a tongue twister.
Yes.
A lot of what he's saying.
Each individual hair standing up, not just the ones on my balls.
Bully.
Bully.
As the flickering light of the pine knots illuminated the erstwhile darkness of the cave, casting our distorted shadows against the shaggy rock, there grinned at us countless skeletons and skulls of all kinds and sizes, many of them evidently those of unfortunate human beings, while others seemed to have belonged to horses, sheep, hogs, dogs, and wild animals that had served a dainty repast for the Gowrow at some time.
Okay, so a cave, you go into the cave and there's just a bunch of human remains and other remains and skulls.
Yes.
That is the most metal thing I've ever heard in my entire life, Ryan. That is an album cover.
That's the most brutal thing I've ever heard.
Yes. Oh my god.
You're telling me these guys turn red, scream, and die. That's the most metal thing I've ever heard.
I got nothing. We'll end it with a Metalocalypse reference. Well
That's
done,
right.
sir. Yeah. But seriously, horrifying if you were there. Like, it's probably the last place you'd want to be as a human because you're like, oh, I'm going to die for sure. But I would love to see a photograph of that is all I'm saying.
I would as well.
Or a painting.
Oh, it's already been, it's all been collected by now.
Preferably a painting painted by a insane person. You know what? There was this one time where my sister, I was young because she was in college. So I was probably like 16, but it was at the University of Michigan, U of M. And we were there and they had a big art display and it was all paintings from inmates. And there was this one where it was just a bunch of clock towers melting into like this weird hellscape with a bunch of like voodoo dolls. And I never wanted a painting more in my life. If I had $300 at that point, I would have bought it because it was
cool.
It was like looking into the heart of madness, Ryan.
I like that.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Anywho, back to this guy.
We hastened out of the cave and concealed ourselves behind a large boulder to await the monster's homecoming. We had waited probably a half hour when we heard a ponderous splashing in the river, as though a great stern wheel steamer was approaching. And the next moment, a huge body of sickly green hue dragged itself awkwardly out of the water and began wobbling its way toward the cave. Shall I attempt to describe it?
Yes, you shall, sir.
Its head was ponderous in size and resembled somewhat that of a man. Only two enormous tusks projected over the underlip.
So slight difference.
Slight difference.
Yeah.
Its legs were short and thick and terminated in webbed feet, somewhat resembling those of a duck. Only each toe was capped by a vicious-looking claw.
I hope they were still like bright yellow though.
I don't know.
I mean, they weren't for the record, but I just think that'd be adorable.
It could be.
I'm gonna kill you.
That's quacktastic. Its body was covered with enormous scales.
It's so stupid. It's Adam Sandler reference.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I never saw a blue duck.
Yes, Billy Madison.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Its body was covered with enormous scales, while along its back bristled a series of sharp horns that came to an abrupt end near the root of the tail. The tail was thin and long and was provided with a sharp bone at the end, which the Gowrow would wield like a sickle, and when enraged, would prove a formidable weapon.
Okay, so they described it as a sickle, so I guess it was like a blade.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was thinking like, was it an ankylosaurus where it was like a hammer? But no, it's like a blade.
Yeah, I was like, like I'm almost envisioning like a half blade kind of thing, like almost like an axe kind of almost.
Maybe like a scorpion thing going on.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Oh. I mean, that is scary.
Yeah, I mean, he'd mess you up pretty good.
Sounds like a little bit like an Andalite tail.
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna make animal references every week.
Good.
Until I'm done with this show.
Good. That's exactly what the people come here for.
They do.
That's right.
Obscure, quiet animorph references.
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So just at this point, I got in the snapshot, which is printed with this article, with my Kodak. And then I gave the command to fire. The men fired in a volley. And when the smoke cleared away, we saw the monster writhing in the throes of death. But it died hard. With its ponderous tail, it lashed down. Joe. It lashed down a couple of trees. Joe has to laugh for a second at the Gowrow dying hard.
Listen, I couldn't help it. The first thing that popped in my head was vulgar. Continue. It's just like, I'm so into bullets.
So it
Like,
died
it was
hard.
the
Like,
most uncomfortable thing we've ever seen. It hurts. Oh, I hope I don't ever die on the air.
and speaking of monstrous size, shall I try to describe it? So with its ponderous tail,
Oh, okay.
it
continue.
lashed down a couple of trees as large as my leg, and also cut off the leg of a poor fellow named Tom Brennan.
Not Tom.
Damn it, Tom! Who
No.
was formerly a section hand on the Iron Mountain Railroad and last year worked on the section below Benton.
I feel like Tom had a nice connection to that guy. Like that was a nice shout out.
Yeah, he was like,
It wasn't just Tom. I'm gonna tell you about who the fuck Tom was.
That's right. Yeah, he has a very distinct career.
It's
very
important.
distinguished.
There's backstory here.
So not wishing to see the monster suffer, I again gave the command to fire. And this volley ended the Gowrow's suffering. The enraged farmers then sprang upon the dead beast with their axes, and more in anger than sorrow hewed it into pieces. I then immediately returned to Blanco and, the next day, having transacted my business, left for Little Rock. From a careful examination of the photograph, which I made of the monster, I am convinced it's a pachyderm and is a combination of the hyena and the rhinoceros. It has incisor.
It was in water, and you're not gonna say hippo at least. This is
right.
He just like this is what it reminds me of.
This is what he said.
Fair enough, guy.
It has incisor and canine teeth, which apparently show that it has a relationship to the Sumatran rhinoceros of the rhinoceros genus.
Sure.
These animals were supposed to have long since disappeared from the earth. Their remains are found in the Miocene formation. In all probability, this specimen was probably the last of its kind, and I regret very much that it was killed, as it would have been of vast interest to scientists and would have afforded a rare opportunity for gathering trustworthy information as to the characteristics of prehistoric animals. I have, however, made arrangements for gathering its bones and for their shipment for the Smithsonian Institution in Washington.
Yes.
But alas, the remains were never seen again.
Of course not.
And
They
that's
always go missing.
and that's what we've got on the Arkansas Gowrow.
You know, I don't know, man. I think it's possible.
I really do. Honestly, this is another one of those instances where just to me, it just screams like, yeah, this probably was the end of like a species. Like he said, like even he thought that. He's like, it's probably something that, that's the reason why people freaked out when they saw it. You've never seen it before and it's dying out. There's maybe handful of them left.
No, I agree with you completely. I think, they say giant sloths existed in our lifetime. Like, well, not our lifetime, but in like modern humans were around the same time giant sloths were. That's all I was trying to say.
Forrest Gallant still thinks that they could exist somewhere like in rainforests and stuff. Like there could be.
Well, Forrest Gallant.
Just saying, I'm a fan.
I don't know.
He does like a show about like trying to find, and he successfully found a few that we thought were extinct, and he found them like something like tortoises and stuff. But still,
I love it when you tell me about like your TikTok or YouTube hole that you fell in.
pretty much. And
Yeah.
I've heard him on podcasts and stuff like that. He's actually really cool. I follow his stuff.
Well, right on.
That's right.
on.
Forrest Gallant. Check him out.
But guys, honestly, we're curious what you think. Tell us your opinion. Do you think this is possibly a prehistoric creature? Do you think it was completely fake? I think it could be what inspired dragons.
honestly,
Fight me on that.
I won't. I won't fight you on that. And that was Sean Connery's best role ever. Was Dragonheart. He was Draco.
Okay, I have more to say about Dragonheart. Hold on.
I knew you would.
Hit us up at Earthling Entertainment Earthling Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com.
That's
Anyways, 5 Dragonheart movies.
I
Brian.
know, Joe.
There was 5.
I know,
Uh,
but
and you know
they
what's
didn't
wacky?
all have Sean Connery.
No, only the first one did. You know what's crazy is the order of those movies, because the first movie is not the first movie. The third movie is the first movie. The fourth movie is the second movie. The first movie is the third movie. The
Oh,
fifth
no, I've
movie
gone
is the
cross-eyed.
fourth movie, and the second movie is the last movie.
Of course it is.
Yes.
That is exactly how it should be.
Yeah, because if you're gonna watch a fantasy franchise,
You
watch
better
it.
be fucking
Yeah,
confused.
like it's kinda. I mean, honestly, Lord of the Rings because you've read it enough, you've listened to enough, you watched enough of the movies. But like
Fair.
when you first start that, holy crap, fantasy is tough. I tried reading the Wheel of Time once, or try reading Dune. Do you know how many times I had to reread Dune before I understood Dune?
I listened to the entire Audible of Dune, and I still don't really get it.
And you've seen the movie, and you
Only
still don't really.
only the first part. I haven't seen the second part yet.
All right, well, the second part is the second half of the first book, and it's funny because the third movie is the second book.
And it was weird in the Audible reading of it. They just changed actors, like the
Like
voice
midway
actor.
through.
Yeah, midway through, all of a sudden, the the head bad guy
Hi.
was just a different guy,
Now I'm
I'm
the
just
guy
like-
doing it.
and it was so confusing.
That would be hard to do.
Oh, it pissed me off. But then I literally read. I was like, "Is this?" And everyone online was like, "Yeah, it's just they switched actors for some reason. It's just keep going." And I'm like, "Fair enough."
Look, I don't know what to tell you guys. This was a choice that was made. There was a business behind it.
He was like,
I don't
"I
know.
only promised to read the first half of the book.
Yeah, right.
I'm out of here.
That guy was under contract. I don't know, man. Anything
Got
in
stuff to do."
anything in the arts is always weird, and contracts are always weird. And
Yeah.
the film industry mixed with, movies, audiobooks, video games, it's all just a whole web of ridiculousness.
I love it. And just kind of like
So
this
much fun,
podcast,
yeah.
it is a web of ridiculousness.
Web of ridiculousness.
That's right.
But
What
you know
tangled
what?
webs we weave.
I think that's it for this week's spooky stuff, but I'm excited because you know what we have next, bud?
No.
An interview. That's right. We have an interview with Todd Tucker. He's a special effects makeup artist. He's directed. He does a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to jump right in. So, guys, check out this awesome interview. Hey, guys. Today we're joined with award-winning makeup effects artist and director Todd Tucker. Todd has worked across some incredible projects in film and television, bringing characters to life through prosthetics, creature effects, and practical makeup before stepping into the director's chair with his own genre films. Todd, welcome to Earthling Entertainment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
you go all the way back to one of your first projects working with Steven Spielberg on Hook. Could you tell me a little bit about how that got started as such an early credit? It's amazing you got on that film.
I started working as soon as I moved to Los Angeles in early 90s. I started working with this one company and worked at the same company for like almost 15 years, I think. And we just did movie after movie after movie. And one of the very first movies I worked on when I started was Hook. And I was such a huge fan of Steven Spielberg and a huge fan of Robin Williams. So I was literally in awe. And then I got to go on set, and we did the mermaids, we did Hook's makeup when his wig comes off, we did all the pointed ears, we did all the likeness makeups. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and to watch Spielberg in do his thing and be that magical guy, I tell you, I learned a lot as a director just studying him, and I'm sure he was like, "Who the hell is this guy staring at me all the time?"
Well, I'm
It
sure
was
he
awesome.
probably gets that a lot.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. Definitely one of the most memorable films that I worked on, for sure.
You had a little bit excuse me, on Mystery Men in the late 90s. And
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit about those real quick, if you have any stories or anything you'd like to tell.
Well, Mystery Men was a lot of fun. I had worked with a really cool producer named John Perret. I met him when I was doing Charmed, the TV series for like 4 seasons. And after Charmed shut down, he brought me on a bunch of other shows that he was working on, and one of them was the Mystery Men. And it was super cool because we made ventriloquist puppets. We made these really cool, weird plastic surgery face makeups, just a bunch of really fun, over the top stuff. And the actors were great, and it was a super cool show. It didn't last as long as I'd hoped it would, but it was super super fun, and that one was really cool. And then what was the other one you were talking about? The Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I
And
had actually
go
very
ahead.
little to do with the Power Rangers. I was working with my mentor, the guy that actually taught me how to do makeup effects when I was buddies with him as a kid, a guy named Steve Wang. And Steve was working with Power Rangers, and he was building some stuff for it. And I was just helping him in the studio build the stuff. And at one point in time, I almost got the part playing. This is a quick fun story. So they cast me as the villain for one of the seasons. I was going to be the villain. I was going to be the villain through the whole season, and then I came in and I did an audition. I put lenses in, and it was this thing where I was supposed to be pacing back and or talking to a Power Ranger. So I started pacing back and forth, and then the Power Ranger says, "Oh, you're going to hurt humanity," and my line was, "Humanity has nothing for me," and I leaned in and I scared the director and everybody, and they were like, "Oh, that's great, that's great." So they filmed me, and just before the day I was supposed to start coming in to do stuff, they called me and said, "Oh, we're sorry, we replaced you." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're going with the Mohawk guy from Road Warrior." And I went, "Mother," you know. So then about a year later, I'm sitting on a Saturday morning with my daughter watching, and all of a sudden there's the episode that they filmed me, and filmed me twice. And all of a sudden it comes to that scene, and that guy starts pacing back and forth and does the exact same thing that I did. So they literally showed him my performance, I think. I could be wrong, but that's Hollywood. That's how it works, and I've had that happen a couple times, but it's all good.
So much has changed in your particular field. Practical effects have gone away in some sense and replaced with CGI, and then came back again when people realized CGI wasn't all it's cracked up to be. And now we're in kind of this mix half and half time. How did you position yourself to not fall off during that transition when so many other artists and your peers have?
Well, it was funny because when I first moved here and I started working for the company I was working for, one of the first movies we went and saw was Jurassic Park, and we all looked at each other and we were like, "Oh crap, we're in trouble." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, I just got here."
Yeah.
What do you mean we're in trouble? So we knew straight on that there was, CG was going to start taking work. And then a little while after that, I was working on the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and we were making the Milo dog animatronic puppet. And they're like, yeah, we don't need the puppet. We're going to do him CG. And we're like, oh no, we just lost our first, big amount of stuff to CG. And so they ended up using our puppets as references, and they filmed them and everything and used them as a base. But ultimately, that was when we kind of learned. So, CG came in and everyone was freaking out, and it did take over a lot of creature suit things, and they started creating a lot of digital creatures. But they also started creating a lot of stuff that would have been really hard to do as a guy in a suit. There's always ways to create practical and then augment it with digital and have it do stuff that a guy couldn't do. So there's a lot of ways of using digital to make it all come together. But it definitely took over a lot of stuff that effects artists would be doing. But luckily I was working with a company that was doing makeup effects, and it didn't really seem to take too much of the makeup effects away, because they still wanted to put actors in old age makeups and heavy makeups and demon makeups and things like that. So I guess I was just lucky that I was at a company and in a position where it didn't really slow us down. We pretty much continued to work the whole time.
Puppeteering is something else that you've done a lot of with these creature effects. Are your puppets augmented more of CGI or replaced with CGI, I guess is the point I'm trying to say?
Both.
Sure.
Both, but there was a noticeable drop in puppeteering when CG came in, because if it was something, if it was a creature that was bigger or had body form that was, really weird, or something that was clearly not human,
Sure.
then that potentially became a CG character, or a giant monkey, in Mighty Joe Young, or not Mighty Joe Young, because he actually had some actual practical stuff in that.
Sure.
But
I was hoping when you said monkey, I was hoping you said you were going to say Monkeybone, because I know you worked on that as a puppeteer, and that was what I was going to kind of work my segue into.
Monkeybone was awesome. That was Henry Selick, the director, was actually the director of Nightmare Before Christmas. No one actually knows that, but he actually directed that, and I believe this was his first live action film that had a combination of the stop motion and the live action. But it was super cool. We made a bunch of characters. There was I think 3 different shops that made characters, and they put us all in this big giant stage, and it was like kind of like a big high school production. It was fun. But I got to puppeteer a bunch of characters. I did a bunch of makeups, and did makeup on Doug Jones, made him a Yeti character, and we had a 3-headed devil character. And then both Doug Jones and myself got asked to play Reapers in a scene with Whoopi Goldberg.
Nice.
So we got to do a lot of stuff, and it was fun. I was with a lot of my friends, and it was a silly, goofy movie, but it was super cool to see all that stuff practically, and the sets and everything. It's always fun to go on set.
Right on. Is that the first time you met Doug Jones? Is on that set?
No, I met Doug a long time ago. I've worked with Doug on I think maybe a dozen projects potentially. I was doing a lot of creature work, and back in the day, a really amazing creature performer named Brian Steele, who ended up taking over and playing Harry for Harry and the Hendersons, the TV show, after Kevin Peter Hall had passed away. So he ended up playing a lot of characters. He's in Hellboy. I mean, he was a main guy. He started a company called Creature Boy, and he basically picked like about a dozen or two of the best creature performers in the industry, and Doug was one, and I was one. So we were constantly, talking and seeing each other, doing stuff. We'd audition for different stuff, because he's a much thinner body type, and I'm a little bit taller, and could do stuff that I couldn't do. But I was able to do more. I played a lot of werewolves and stuff, and he really wasn't doing a lot of that stuff. So Doug, I've worked with Doug a lot, and I put him in a lot of makeups, and he's actually plays the lead character in my film that I directed and wrote called The Terror of Hallow's Eve. He plays the trickster character, and he's amazing in it. So Doug is a true friend and a good guy.
He really was amazing in it. I saw a cut where it was in a puppet and then later replaced with Doug Jones. You guys actually had that premiere at my school while I was going there at the time.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So you are one of the few people that actually saw when we did it with a puppet, because we shot the whole film with the puppet and as the character, and it just didn't feel scary enough. And I was like, yeah, after I showed it, I was like, oh man, this is just not, it feels too kid friendly. I've got to ramp this up. And so we brought Doug in and we shot Doug with a makeup that looked similar to the look of the puppet, and then shot him against green screen and digitally put him into the movie right over the top of the puppet. And it worked great. And his performance literally took that character to a level that, thank God we did that. And it cost us more money to do it, but man, it was so worth it. It made a huge difference.
It definitely changed the tone. I felt it was creepier, and
Right?
I mean, you can't beat human when it comes to the facial expression Doug Jones could do. That's
Well, on that film, on the Terror of Halloween Eve, we actually have pretty much all practical characters. All of they were puppets, they were makeups. It was a lot of puppets in that movie.
well, the monster at the inn blew
was,
my mind. I got to tell you that one.
what's that?
The monster at the inn blew my mind. I remember sitting in the theater. I was blown away with that guy.
That guy he's huge too. He's like 12-foot tall puppet. Really cool. It worked out really well, but we actually did have like 100 visual effects shots in that movie to actually put puppets into scenes where they weren't, I mean, but the characters themselves were not digitally created. They were just augmented and put into different locations and things or made bigger or smaller or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of visual effects, but it feels just like an old 80s practical film. And I also got super lucky because I got John Carpenter to give me 2 of his songs from his Lost themes. So I got John Carpenter music in the film, and
I mean, you can't beat that.
How cool is that? No, right? That's about as good as it gets, really.
I'd say so. It's definitely a stamp of approval in the horror community. I'll say that one.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. It was a big deal for me.
All right. Well, you know what? I was under the impression that this was actually your first feature film, but I'm wrong. Apparently, in 2010, you did Monster Mutt.
Yeah. So my very first film was a kid family horror, not horror movie, a comedy.
Sure.
But it was kind of like Harry and the Hendersons. Basically, a family, their dog gets kidnapped and used as a test subject for an energy drink company, and they blow it up into a big monster dog. It escapes and gets its way back home, and now the kids are trying to hide it so that it doesn't get taken away. So it's a very simple, that whole E.T., Harry and the Hendersons vibe. And it was funny because we made a big animatronic puppet dog that somebody walked in, and I purposely made it so that it was very Henson-like. I wasn't trying to make it look super real. I was trying to make something that 7 and 8-year-old kids would really love and have plushy dolls and, all that stuff. And the movie came out, and it actually won the best comedy at the Family Film Festival. But I got a lot of backlash online from clearly 40-year-old guys living in their mom's basement going, hey, dude, you do amazing effects. Your dog looks like crap. What's their deal? And I'm like, dude, I didn't respond to any of them, but I'm like,
what do you do?
I wasn't making this for a 40-year-old guy. This is for a 6-year-old girl, bro. It's like, it's supposed to be like if you caught Big Bird and kept him at home, or, it wasn't, I was doing that. So
context, people, context.
Right. But the Muppets weren't around at that time. And then literally about 2 or 3 years after Monster Mutt came out, the new Muppet movie had come out. And now all of a sudden I'm getting these emails. The movie's doing fantastic. I'm a genius now. The dog is heartfelt. And it's just like, it just took a Muppet movie to come out for everything to change. So timing is very important.
Sometimes it doesn't pay to be ahead of your time.
No, but I've got some great actors in it. I've got Brian Stepanek. I've got Mindy Sterling. I've got all these like groundlings, amazing actors. And it was great because after we got what was on the script, I talked to him and I'm like, guys, what do you want to do? What can we do different? You guys help. Let's make some stuff up and make this funny as hell. Yeah. And luckily they just brought it, and it was a really fun project. And it got worldwide distribution, and it did really well. And because it came out such a long time ago, now I have these, 25-year-old people come up to me when I'm signing autographs at conventions, bringing up their Monster Mutt DVD. And I'm like, holy crap. And they're like, yeah, it was like 12 when it came out. I was like, all right. Then this is for you. You're good.
Hey, everyone has those weird childhood movies that stand out to them, and your movie is someone's weird childhood movie. I'm reminded of The Warriors of Virtue, or
Yeah.
yeah, here you go, Theodore Rex.
Oh,
Sometimes,
there you go.
yeah, sometimes these weird movies really hit at the right time. You don't know who's gonna be like obsessed with it later on.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you do it and it's heartfelt and the character is just, fun, sometimes it doesn't really matter. Much like Kermit the Frog. You love that damn sock, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it's a sock. You end up to grow to love the character. So it's really about character. Yeah.
You puppeteered on a film called Tiptoes. And for those of you who don't know, that is a Matthew McConaughey rom-com. That is well known for some choices that was made with little people. It says you were a puppeteer for a little person. I have to ask, is this the Gary Oldman character?
Okay, so yes, it's funny because I don't know many. I don't think I've actually talked about this movie maybe ever. I don't know. So basically, we were asked to turn Gary Oldman into a little person.
Yes.
And we had worked with Gary on Dracula and a bunch of other movies, so we were already real familiar with Gary. And so what we did was we did a prosthetic to make his head a little larger up on top, and just give him some different looks to kind of cheat the look. And then we made a fake little person body.
Sure.
So what would happen is we shot a scene where they had a couch where I was laying underneath the couch and Gary was on top of me, laying on top of me with his head coming through, and I was puppeteering the little body while he was doing all the head movement, and basically the body came off of his neck. So it was kind of an interesting situation because me and Gary got real close.
I mean, you'd have
but
to.
we already knew each other and worked together a lot. But it was definitely a situation where it was tight quarters. But he was great, and we just did a bunch of gags to make it look like his little body was alive, and it was a interesting kind of weird movie.
I mean, that's a lot of fun. I always think of the cool checklists of like the things I got to do on a film, and that's one. You got to puppeteer a little person. How many people can say that? I mean, maybe four that I know.
Right? A checklist right there on the old to-do list.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I've got to puppeteer a lot of weird stuff in a lot of movies, and it's it's a lot of times like the company whoever I was working with at the time, we'd be making the puppets and the makeups and everything, so I would jump back and forth between doing makeups and puppeteering. And like on Van Helsing, when we did Van Helsing, I got to put makeups on the stunt Frankensteins and some of the other characters, and then one day I go in and it's time to puppeteer the bat thing coming out of the bat sack and attacking them and all that. And, so it's really cool that you get to bounce around. Or I've got to bounce around a lot and do both things on set a lot of times.
Well, throughout all the genre films you've done, whether it's makeup or maybe a puppet creature or just a cross between them both, what is there a particular monster or creation that you were just proud of, over the moon about, that unfortunately didn't get the attention you felt as though it deserved?
I feel like one of the coolest makeups I remember being a part of, and here's the thing, look, anything that is built as a makeup effect or any of that is a team of people working. It's never one person. Okay. Sure. So yeah. You have sculptors, you have mold makers, you have painters, you have foam fabricators, you have the people that put the makeups on set. So there's a team of people that do it. But one of the makeups that I remember thinking was super, super cool was when we worked on Hannibal. We did a makeup on Gary Oldman to make him look like a character named Verger. And it was the director was like, I don't want him to look scary. I want him to look medically destroyed. And that character, when that makeup went on Gary, and Gary was like, you know what? In the story, Hannibal, I guess, talks him into cutting his own face off and feeding it to his dog. and retrieving it after his dog has gone to the bathroom and putting it back on. So it was just a, and he goes, and if that was real, I would be in pain. So we need to do a makeup that is uncomfortable. And I'm like, I've never heard anyone in my life say that to me, and Gary's like, method. So we did it so that we had these strings that were attached to little things that were glued to his eyes that would wrench his eye open and make his eye look all jacked up, and with all these silicone appliances, and he looked all like kind of like a burn victim, and just, it was a really, really cool makeup and really disturbing. And we would let that go in between takes, but he had these giant lenses in, and the character was super creepy. And most people don't know that it was Gary, because you can't tell it was Gary. And at the time, I think there was something going on where Gary didn't allow them to put his name on the poster. So people didn't know unless they stayed and watched the credits. And I think that's a makeup that really went kind of under the radar because people didn't realize that it was Gary. And it was just a great, super cool silicone makeup. And here's another fact. Doug Jones was hired and was in makeup a bunch of times to be able to jump in whenever needed, if Gary needed to split or didn't want to do like over the shoulder shots or whatever. And Gary literally, I don't think Doug ever shot, and he was in makeup multiple times, just sitting around hoping and waiting, but Gary was like, he wouldn't like give it up. He wanted to be there for every nuance of what that character did. And it shows. Gary's just that, probably one of the most intense actors I've ever been in the room with, and felt like I want to run out of the room, because he's just so, he's huge in person. He's not a giantly tall guy, but man, when he gets into character, he's 14 feet tall.
Formidable for sure.
I'm telling you, it's a thing.
What was the movie that you felt as though like, wow, this is a lot going on? The most moving parts you've ever seen when you were on set?
I will say Bram Stoker's Dracula was pretty crazy intense.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that went down on that shoot. It was earlier on in my career, so I wasn't as experienced, but got thrown into doing stuff that I don't know how I got through. But there was that movie had a lot of moving parts. We were finishing a few things at the last minute. I had a fake Winona Ryder dummy, and I had to race from the shop to get to the Sony studios in time to get it in front of the camera. And I put it in my driver's passenger seat and got pulled over by a cop. And it's just stupid things, but just a lot of stuff happened on that movie. We built.
Did you have to explain why there was Winona Ryder dummy? Because in my head, it's like in the seat next to you.
Well, he pulls me over, and she looks like she's all dead and everything, and she looks totally real. And I'm like, I hope this guy doesn't just think I killed somebody. And he leans in, and I go, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I'm on the way to a Coppola movie. This is dead Winona Ryder prop. I'm so sorry." And he looks at me, and he looks in, and he laughs, and he goes, I can't say what he said, but he goes, "Get the F out of the carpool lane. Have a good day. Good luck."
Yeah, fair enough. It's good
I'm
to be
like,
in LA.
Sweet. I just take off. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. There's a cop right there. I shouldn't go fast. And I made it to set just in time. I laid the body in, and all of a sudden Coppola calls action, and I'm like, okay, what's next?
You made it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So there's been a few times when it's just been super intense. I was on Charmed playing a character, because I played a lot of the characters that I made for the TV series. And I played a super villain character called the Aggressor, who's kind of like a Batman type character thing. And we were doing a stunt where one of the girls, the stunt girls, who was supposed to be one of the girl witches, is in a superhero suit, and she kicks me, and I grab her foot and I throw her like this, and the stunt girl's supposed to go flying through the air and hit this wall. And they told me, when you do it, mimic you doing that with her foot. Don't actually touch her foot, because you'll mess up her trajectory as she's going towards the wall. And I'm like, okay, you got it. I won't touch her foot, I promise you. So we did the shot, and I did my mimic, and I don't think I touched her foot. I don't remember feeling anything, but for some reason, she just went a different direction and crashed into a shelving unit and got hurt, and they had to take her away on an ambulance. And I'm just like, and then we just kept shooting, and I just felt horrible because I didn't know for sure if I had done something. And they're like, no, you don't understand. We did, it was an issue, and here's why. And I'm like, oh, you know. Stunts are just rough. If she was on a wire and had another wire on her, so the one wire was pulling her this way and the other one was making her spin, so it looked like she was spinning and crashing into a wall. So they do this quite a bit. So it was just, I don't know what went wrong. Just something went wrong, and it was it just made me feel really horrible. Like, it was hard to finish the day because I was just so worried because I didn't know what happened to her. I didn't know how hurt she was, and I knew her. Because I'd been on the show for 2 seasons already, so everyone kind of knows everybody. And I was like, please don't let it be that I hurt her.
Right on. I assume she was okay in the end.
Yeah, she's fine. She's all
perfect.
Good. She came back, but yeah, it was it was weird. It was weird.
Well, let's balance that out. You said that was a rough time on Charmed. What was one of your favorite times on Charmed?
Actually, the same episode.
Oh yeah. See, that's perfect.
No, it was cool. They were like, it was funny because back then I had long hair, not quite as long as I have now, but I had longer hair, and I started playing a lot of the creatures, and they wanted this supervillain called the Aggressor, and they're like, and they wanted the suit in like a week and a half, and I'm like, guys, you don't have the budget, I don't have the time, it's gonna have to be me again, and they're like, fine. But if you're going to play the character, we're going to have to cut your hair because the character's name isn't Captain 80s. Like, wow.
Ouch, man.
All right. Yeah. So they cut all my hair off, and I played the Aggressor character, and it was super cool. And they did a whole write-up and a whole magazine thing with the character. And the character got a lot of interest, and it was the #1 episode of the entire run of all seasons. So it was really fun to play that character, and I got to play a lot of characters on the show. So that whole series was a blast to work on, just because they were so cool, and I got to make it and play it for 4 years. So it was a blast. I really enjoyed playing werewolves. I played a lot of werewolves. I was the werewolf on a Disney Channel show called The Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, right on.
And Selena Gomez's boyfriend turns into a werewolf, but a calm werewolf. He's a sexy, cool-looking kid werewolf, and I did his makeup. And then when he gets upset, he turns into a big monster werewolf, and that was me in makeup. And that was a lot of fun because they brought the character back a few times, and I got to play the same character and did a lot of stunts. But that was a lot of fun, and I got to do some acting out of character. But I've played a lot of creatures. I've puppeteered a lot, so the majority of my credits, you wouldn't have a clue it was me. But every once in a while, I do something where you can actually see my face. Not too often, though.
Yeah, but it happens.
Once in a while, yeah.
Well, on this show, we like to say we're a perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture. We have a section that we call spooky stuff, which we normally cover cryptid or a haunting. So I wanted to ask you, with all the creatures you've created, is there a particular cryptid that you would like to do that you haven't been able to do yet?
So I have a project. I won't give it away too much right now because it's actually being looked at and considered from production companies. But I have a project that basically is centered around cryptid legends of Louisiana.
Okay.
So there is a lot of creatures and characters, or creatures and legends in Louisiana. One of them is called the Rougarou, which a lot of people have heard of. That one, we built a Rougarou, and we did a whole trailer for the project. And that is a character that I'm hopefully going to make at some point for the project if it moves forward. But I've had this project for a little while, and it's evolved. Actually, the creature itself has evolved in what designs of what we started with and what we changed it to as we evolved the script and everything. So that would be a character I would love to see. and we put a bit of a spin on it, so it's kind of you think it's one thing and it's kind of something else, and it's a really cool creative idea of a design for a character. So that's something hopefully I will be able to make and show you guys at some point down the road.
Hey, I'd love to see it, man. We did cover a Rougarou actually.
Oh yeah, how
Yeah,
was it?
yeah. That was pretty fun. Well, we're on like episode 125, so we're getting to the point where we have to dig kind of deep.
Oh, okay. Well, I can understand why, right? What
Yeah.
can I ask you? What is your favorite of what you have done? What is one of your top favorite ones?
The Knocklavie.
Oh,
So it's a Scottish water demon essentially, and it's like a horse where in the middle, instead of a centaur, it's kind of like in the middle of the back, a torso of a man without any skin, and some reports say he has one eye, and that is the creepy thing I'd like to see. I want
wow.
make that. I want to see you make that. If I have my money, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hire you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll make that damn thing.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Bring it to life.
I mean, beyond that, it would be a Wendigo, but unfortunately, Wendigos are kind of done a lot in the last 10 years. So I feel like it's not new territory for me.
I will say this: there was a reality show years ago called Billy the Exterminator, and it's a guy that does exterminations in Louisiana. And I was actually I kind of sought him out while I was in Louisiana because I used to have a studio in Louisiana also. And I was going to move forward on this project that I just mentioned and potentially have Billy play one of the characters. So I ended up meeting him, and he's like, "Hey, man, you want to see a chupacabra?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Check this out." And he pulls out his phone and he shows me some footage of this thing. And I don't know what the hell it was, man, but it was something I've never seen before. So it could be a chupacabra, but it was weird. And he wasn't showing it to me to impress me. He just had it, and he's like, and a couple other things too that happened that were really interesting when I was in Louisiana. But I talked to a lot of older people there who have experienced stuff in Louisiana, and I went and was interviewing people at haunted places and just doing a bunch of weird stuff. And man, I got some bone-chilling stories and definitely experienced a few weird things while I was there that I'm like, okay, if there is supernatural things happening, Louisiana is a very hot spot for it, for sure.
I mean, I would agree with it being the French colony way back with all the violence, but not just that, the swamps and the bayous being places where humans have never gone, or even more, humans have gone out to hide, and all kinds of legends about swamp people and spirits and creatures. It's a hotbed. I don't blame you.
I was in one house that is this old house that they have as a historical thing that you can walk through. And in the attic, because we were going to shoot potentially a movie there, and I wanted to look at their attic to see if we could shoot in it. And this old lady took me up there, and they had this crib set up in this little area for like a little girl with these creepy toys and crib. It was just really, really creepy. And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's back in the 1950s. There was a little girl that lived here, and she jumped out that window right there and committed suicide, but she still lives here. So we set this up for her because it makes her happy." And like giving me this whole story, right? And I'm filming her, and after I film her, I look back at the footage, and there's all these weird light orbs going through my shots that I didn't notice at all when I was filming. And I go, "That's weird." And she goes, "Oh, let me see." And she goes, "Oh, that happens all the time." And she shows me a picture of a light orb in one of the videos that somebody did there. And I kid you not, and I don't know that, I mean, she probably didn't know what Photoshop is, so I don't know. There was a skull inside of this orb. It looked like the shadowing of a skull. I saw it in there. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, this is crazy. So I'm there. And you know, you just get a really weird vibe. Like you can just feel weirdness, like just unsettledness in some of the places I've been. And I went to the house to location scout it where they shot the Skeleton Key.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
I actually have. It's yeah, it was in the they didn't shoot it in the bayou though. Wasn't that house somewhere else?
It's not in the bayou, but it's near it. But
Right
it's
on.
it's in Louisiana, this little area. And there was this old caretaker there. They didn't have the keys to go inside. So I'm looking through the windows and stuff. He's all, "Yeah, right over there, that's the hanging tree." And I'm all, the what? And he goes, hang on tree, they hang about 110 people there. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, dude, just be careful though. You want to rent this place, they give you all kinds of trouble when you try to shoot. And I go, the ghosts give you trouble when you're shooting here? And he goes, yeah, they always mess up your shoots. So just know that. And I go, what? Right. And there was this like little basement type area. They don't really have basements. The house was elevated and there was this little basement area that was on the ground level. And I go, I'm going to go in there and film. Is that all right? And he goes, yeah, you can go in there. So I go in there and I'm walking around and look, I make this stuff, so it's hard for me to believe stuff, even though I've seen enough shit that I should probably already believe it. Sure. But I'm walking around and all of a sudden it gets super cold and I turn to the left and I look and there's a pile of stuff and all of a sudden the shovel falls over. And I'm like, okay, that's probably enough for me to have to shoot it. And I go, just like, I'm out, I'm done, I'm going to get out of here because this old guy has no reason to lie to me and say there's issues. And shovels don't usually move on their own as far as I know. So I've had a few interesting paranormal things while trying to find locations to shoot in Louisiana for sure.
Nice. I'm with you on that. A shovel falling over is enough to get me the hell out of the basement.
You know, it's weird too, because it's right when I looked at it, like it was almost like I looked at it and all of a sudden it went, boop, and I went, that's all we need. It was a little too on cue. I was like, nah, you know. I worked at a studio at one point in time in Burbank, California, and it was literally butted up against a really old cemetery. And I started having crew people tell me that they were seeing stuff at night and that they didn't want to work overtime at nighttime. And I'm like, guys, come on, that's a bunch of crap. You just don't want to work. That's fine, whatever. So I was working nights there myself. And I did find out that they actually, because the way the cemetery is built, it's a big square, and the shop that we have breaks into the square and nothing else does. Nothing else does, right? So I took and I checked it out, and definitely it used to be a square and they built this over the top of it. And I don't know if they moved. I don't know if I'm living in the poltergeist version of my studio or what the hell, right?
They moved the headstones, but not the bodies.
Right. Well, I will say I was working at night and all of a sudden somebody snuck into my building and I saw them go through the back area and through a door that opened. And I ran back there because I was like, oh man, if this is a homeless person, if they're robbing me, whatever, I got to go deal with this right now real quick. There's nobody there. And I was ready to call the police. I was clear as a bell. Okay. I didn't see it out of the corner of my eye. I was prepared to throw a homeless person out of the building if I had to, or whatever. Not, sure. Or a robber or whatever I was dealing with. I was more scared about having somebody trying to rob me and me catching them, And about a month later, I was in a meeting and I was talking to somebody, and at the hallway at the very end, I saw somebody walk through my office and go through a wall. And I was like, man, I know I smoked a lot of weed in the 80s. I mean, maybe
it's coming back.
There's a problem. I don't know. But so I've seen enough stuff that I should believe, but it's just hard to I don't know. 2 years ago, I released a movie called Rock Bottom, which is based kind of on me back in the day, but it's basically an old 80s hair band gets back together and to play a charity show, and their lead singer is hospitalized, so they end up having to hire a pizza delivery kid because he's the only one that can pull it off. And it's just a silly comedy. There's no effects. There's no monsters, no nothing. It's just like a cool, fun hairband rock comedy. It won a bunch of awards and got worldwide distribution. So it was kind of good that I did something that wasn't necessarily just, monster stuff, creature stuff.
But it makes sense because that sounds like something that was really personal. And when you pour yourself into a project, that's a lot of times that's when they hit.
Well, before I moved here, I was a professional. I had a band, and we were opening up for bands like The Tube and Y&T, and we had a record deal and all that. So when I put this together originally, my whole idea was just to put it together because I wanted to make this movie and then create a real band and then do an album for the movie with original music and then go tour with that band. That was my whole game plan.
I mean, it's a
And
pretty solid plan.
it was a big one. I mean, there's a lot of layers. And right when COVID hit, I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. So I spent all the time, I pulled my drums back out. I started writing music. I was writing the script at the same time and putting this whole thing together. And then I got to pull these 80s rock stars out of the blue and grab them. And we recorded all these songs. And we have an album out called the Rock Bottom Original Soundtrack, which is all 80s songs that we wrote for the movie. The movie came out and did really well. It won some awards, and it went out worldwide. I am now working, oddly enough, I am now working with the longest friend I've ever had, Steve Wang, and his partner Cleve Gunderman, who are longtime friends of mine. Well, I've got some shows if you want to come over and do some stuff with us. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So I came over and started working with them, and we did, right off the bat, they got a project that was the next series for the Duffer Brothers, the guys that did Stranger Things, called the Burrows.
Sure.
So we did a lot of the effects for the Burrows. We did this really cool character. I can't really talk too much about it because it doesn't come out for another 2 weeks or so. But we did a really, really cool, two really cool characters that are prominently in the series. I got to go on set. I got to puppeteer. I got to do the makeup with some amazing artists. I mean, it was a super cool project. We shot in New Mexico, and the show's really, really cool. It comes out next month. So we got some current stuff coming out that's high end, and it's really cool. I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing.
We've gone through this interview and you've named like 50 impressive things. Most people have one, maybe two impressive things. Sir, you are a treasure in Hollywood as far as I'm concerned.
You know what? That's super kind. I truly appreciate that, but I will say I've just been really, really lucky. And I've been, I am a true believer that if you're really motivated and you're a good person and you treat everybody, really, really good. I don't have a lot of burnt bridges for the most part, unless, it was somebody that really burned me and I just had to get away from it. But I've been really lucky. So I'm very appreciative. I've been years ago, I was on, I don't know, have you ever heard of a show called Halloween Wars?
Actually, yes, I have.
So from season 7 to 10, I was one of the judges on the show.
Really?
So I was the Simon Cowell, though, because I was the negative one. Because I sculpted and painted and knew how to do all that stuff. And a lot of what they did on the show was doing the same thing, but with food and all that kind of stuff. So I could actually give, real criticism and hopefully help. But that was also a lot of fun to do, a reality show. And oddly enough, that's the show that people, when I'm on the streets, a lot of times they'll be like, hey, you're that guy on Halloween Wars. I'm like, yeah, I've done a bunch of movies, but yeah, the reality show, yeah, that was me.
You never know what people are going to identify with.
Hey, you know what? It's all great. And throughout time, it's funny because when I meet people and when I do interviews and stuff like that, there's always a different movie that was their movie that I worked on that they are so happy that I was a part of. Like a lot of it was Jingle All the Way. I had a lot of people that were
that makes sense.
One was Idle Hands. And these are some of them are movies that are just kind of, not the big ones necessarily, but
hey man, Idle Hand would be on my list, so I'm with you on that one as well. I mean, you're talking about the films that kind of sculpted why I'm doing what I'm doing now. You'd be surprised how many things you worked on that actually directly affect the fact that I'm making this show today. Earth 2, for instance. You worked on a show called Earth 2. That was a favorite of mine when I was a child.
That's so funny. That was super, super cool. I worked on, I don't remember, did you see the first Blade?
Of course. Yeah. You puppeteered, God, what was it? The
Pearl.
big guy?
Pearl. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the giant guy, right?
Oh my God. Well, so we built that big giant body, and then we had a guy in makeup and we had to crawl through a tunnel to get underneath the body base and come up into the body. So we had one guy that had a makeup on that came through the neck, that was the actor of the face. And then we had one guy that was the left hand, and then I was the right hand. And we were in that thing for hours and hours and hours for like 3 days in a row.
Oh
And
man.
I talked about this on TikTok, and it totally blew up. It went crazy. But the actor, when he was acting like he was getting burned by a blade, kept farting and inside the body, and he was just literally hotboxing the crap out of us. And we were like dying in there, and there was nowhere to go. There was no ventilation. I don't even think he knew he was farting, because he couldn't, he was just like screaming like he was getting burned. But you want to talk about suffering for your art. We had to suck it down, literally, bro. It was like not really that was a rough day. That's also on one of my worst days on set.
Fair enough. Is that the
But
most uncomfortable puppeteering situation you've had to lay or put
I'll
yourself
tell
in?
you what, it's in my top one.
Fair enough.
But hey, I got to work on Blade. So sometimes you got to just take it and balance it out. How cool it is to be working on a movie like that, even though you're being hotboxed by a 1,000-pound vampire.
Once again, that's one of the Hollywood notches on your belt. Like, how many people can say that? Not only have you puppeteered a little person, you've puppeteered a giant person.
True.
Yep.
Both ends of the spectrum, for sure.
There you go. You're covering the gambit, man.
You know what? I feel super lucky.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I know we've brought it up before, but the film that you directed, the Halloween film, my buddy Caleb Thomas was the lead in that film.
Yes.
And as I mentioned before, I thought it was interesting that we had that connection, but also Alan Maxim. These are two guys that I've both personally worked with, and I wanted to hear a little bit about your experiences working with Alan, because not only did you do his movie that he directed, you've been working more since then.
Yeah, Alan, I had just finished making Rock Bottom, and Alan was putting together his movie Alien Planet. And he asked me if I could help him out, and he had two main characters that he needed to be designed and sculpted. He had a rough design, and then we just kind of fleshed it out and did the two characters for him. And then he was able to use those two heads and do different paint jobs to create a species with different looks and things like out of the two heads that we made for him. And he did a really good job. The film is fun. And he did it on a super low budget, but it felt very Star Trek, like old school Star Trek to me. It was fun.
It reminded me of the 90s Outer Limits.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Love that film.
And I just recently directed my first vertical comedy horror.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a Gremlins type thing. We had a bunch of puppets and people getting attacked, and Alan actually edited the whole thing for me. So we just finished editing, I think 3 nights ago. So it hasn't even been posted yet. We're gonna do that in a little while. But so
That's
he
perfect.
helped me with that, and.
Well, I wanted to actually ask about that. I know a lot of these projects before they come out, you can't say too much, but when you say kind of a gremlin type thing, can you tell me a little bit about these creatures?
So yeah, when I started working here at the company I'm working with right now, with my friend Steve and Cleve, they have a company called Onyx Forge, and I guess 10 years ago, Cleve wanted to put together a short or wanted to shoot something, and he asked Steve to design and create these little creature puppets. So Steve designed it, then he sculpted it, then Cleve molded it, made a bunch of them, painted them, got them ready to go, and then for whatever reason, his project didn't move forward. And those creatures just got put aside and never got used. And when I started working here, I kept seeing them. I'm like, those things are really cool. And then recently I heard that they were getting ready to gear up and start making a Gremlins 3. And I'm like, well, holy crap, hold on now. Why don't we take those puppets? And Cleve had a rough idea of what a storyline idea. So I'm like, Cleve, do you mind if I take that storyline and flesh it out, and we'll do a vertical comedy, kind of like vertical dramas, but we'll do a comedy. and make it kind of Gremlins-esque and all that. And so we took these puppets that have been sitting around forever and went and shot 2 weekends. Got all our friends together, did it super. I mean, there's zero money in this. Everyone donated their time. It was a complete, just old school version of guerrilla filmmaking. And it was a blast. It was super fun, and it came out really nice. We'll probably be posting it in the next couple weeks. I will tell you the name. It is called Beach Creepers.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, so it'll be
I
fun.
actually am. I want to know. I want to know everything about this. You know what's
Yeah.
funny is when you said no money, the first thing that popped in my head, because I went to the Los Angeles Film School. So the first thing that popped in my head was, I bet we shot in Runyon Canyon.
You know what? I didn't shoot there, but I have before.
Yep.
Hey, you know,
Everyone
actually, I
has there.
spoke at your school. Were you there when I spoke there?
I was, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I remember going there and doing a class, and I think it was your finals, right? Was it your finals?
You know what? I may have missed that one though, because I didn't
Uh,
have you. I saw you speak when you introduced your film.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, and let me mention this too. So Caleb
Sure.
Thomas, who is the star of The Terror of Hallows Eve.
Yeah, I
It
love
was
that guy.
interesting.
He stood up in my wedding.
Oh, you know what? Really talented dude.
Yeah.
And the thing that was weird was the character in The Terror of Hallows Eve. The entire the first half hour of the movie is based on something that happened to me when I was 13, when I got beat up really bad by these bullies. And ultimately, I took that idea and made that exactly what happened to me. The first half hour of the movie, it happens on Halloween. The kid finds a pumpkin and wishes revenge, and his house is turned into a poltergeist and by Doug Jones and his creature, and all of a sudden, creatures are killing the villains or the bad guys. So I had to find somebody, an actor that looked the way looked and felt like how I looked and felt back when I was a kid. But I didn't, and the kid's supposed to be like 13, 14, 15 in that zone. And I didn't want a little kid because it costs too much to shoot movies with kids under 18.
Yeah.
And then I saw Caleb's picture and he looked really young and he looked kind of like me back in the day, enough that I could, I'm like, let me just talk to this guy. And he was shooting a Nickelodeon movie out of the country. And I did a Zoom call with him for about 45 minutes just to get a real vibe of whether or not he felt like he could play me. And I never auditioned him. I just had this conversation, and he was great. And he came in and he just killed it. So Caleb really brought that movie to a higher level because of his acting.
You know what? He's one of my best friends, so that's why I kind of avoid talking about people I have personal relationships with. But I was always impressed with how he could play the victim, and then on a turn of a coin, especially in your film, how it's just that streak of anger behind the eyes. And that's why I think it really worked for your movie being. Would it be fair to say a Halloween revenge film?
Yes, I
Yeah.
would absolutely be okay with that. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Caleb was great. And Caleb went and did all the premieres and all the, we did a bunch of festivals and stuff. And it was a really cool, that was a super cool experience. And we actually got a chance to Trick or Treat Studios, that does some of the best masks ever. They did a whole line of the Terror of Hallows Eve masks. So you can get a trickster mask. They actually have the costume too. So they did a whole, like a bunch of the characters from the movie. You can buy the masks at Trick or Treat. So as far as movies go, if you want to see Rock Bottom, my rock and roll comedy, you can see it at Prime Video. It is on Hulu TV, or not Hulu. No, it is Hulu TV. It's on Apple TV. It's on YouTube. And The Terror of Hallows Eve, you can also find that on Roku and YouTube. And Monster Mutt, on the other hand, is nowhere right now. So I'm actually thinking about going in and re-editing it and changing it up and maybe re-releasing it online. So we'll see if I pull that off.
That would be fun. I think I got my Terror on Hallows Eve on Amazon Prime. So
okay. Yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you go. And as far as you can check out, I have Todd Tucker, Movie Magic, TikTok, and YouTube channel. And there's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of behind the scenes and puppet stuff, makeup stuff, special effects, all that good stuff. And you can also check me out on Instagram at Todd Tucker Official. And yeah, check it out. There's all kinds of fun stuff. I'm putting a lot of stuff online right now and talking about things and projects and behind the scenes and giving away a lot of secrets.
Hey, man, I'm glad I hit you up at a good time then.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome time. Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed sitting down with you. Thank you so much for being on the show. And,
Truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Totally. And from everyone here at Earthling Entertainment, see ya. Dude, man, I mean, come on. He's worked on some big movies, and I don't know. I like the fun inside stories. I mean, that's why I do this.
No, and that's why I love that you were able to do that. Thanks for doing another awesome interview, dude.
Oh, no worries, no worries. And you know what? We brought up Monkeybone because I know that was one of your personal favorites.
Oh, dude, definitely. No, it's so awesome that you worked on that.
Oh, man. But I think the funniest thing is the puppeteering the fat guy. If I could go my entire career and at some point puppeteer a giant fat guy, like Jabba the Hutt or that guy from Blade. I don't know. I digress. Guys, we hope you enjoyed that. And now we're going to jump into just, because we have the interview, a little bit of Earth Pop. Here's just the headlines that might matter to you.
They might.
The Earth Pop Report, talking about everything to do with Earth pop culture.
Woo! Here we go.
All right. So, number 1. Ryan, are you a fan of Dennis Leary?
I actually am.
Right? I thought so. That's why I started it out that way, because I know you didn't hear about his show.
No.
Well, Fox had a show called Going Dutch, and it took place on a military base. It was a half-hour comedy. It was like a harmless half-hour comedy. It's a fun little show, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Lasted 2 seasons, and it is canceled now. It will not be having a season 3.
Oh.
No more Dutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Dutch.
That's it. It was a good show. I did like it, and a lot of people liked it, but it was, I don't know, it was one of those shows that it didn't do anything. It was just kind of like, this is what we do every week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should watch his OG stand-up, the black and white stand-up special that he did. It's so good.
It was.
It's dated, mind you. It's old.
I remember
it's
Dennis
from the 90s.
I remember Dennis Leary from the 90s, from Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Do you remember he was like he was the leader of the underground people who were like eating rats and been like,
oh my God,
I want to
haven't
smoke
seen that
cigarettes
in so long.
and screw and forget the world up there. I love that guy.
Oh,
man.
dude,
he was always the anti-hero kind of.
And that's literally who he was in real life. Like
Sure,
even
yeah.
on stage, he was just he would always be like, people tell me not to smoke, and he would just chain smoke the whole time. Dude was nuts.
He was.
It's amazing he's alive.
I agree, man.
I'm glad, but it is surprising.
A little bit. So Ryan, you know how we talked before about SLC Punk?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies, if not actually my favorite movie. Well, the director is getting back into the punk scene, man. He's never really left the punk scene, but he's gonna do another movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Gasoline, and it's the movie's in the punk scene. So
That's interesting. I'm not calling punk dead, but I will say I don't see a whole lot of punks around.
Fair enough, but you are in your late 30s and not going to shows that are punk. So
I'm still hip.
Right on. Well, I really liked his editing and his directing style in SLC Punk. And I enjoyed SLC Punk too, but it took a very different, it just felt like a different movie.
Okay.
So I'm wondering how this new, how it'll be. Like, will it be more energetic and fast-paced cuts like SLC Punk, or is it going to be like a more mellow, we all get older kind of story of the punk genre? So while I'm very interested,
It is 30 years later.
yeah.
Let's remember that as well. So,
well, his name is I realize I never said his name. It's James Marandino. That's the correct spelling. Marandino.
Marandino.
Marandino. I always screw up that last name.
It's okay.
But awesome director. He hasn't done a whole lot of things, but because of SLC Punk, lifelong pass as far as I'm concerned. Just saying.
No, same. No, I'll definitely give it a watch. That's exciting. That's exciting news. No, SLC Punk was a staple, I think, of our youth. You're the one who showed me that movie.
I know.
Yeah, and God, I blubbered like a big baby
Well,
at the end, like
yeah.
everybody else does. I mean, it's okay. We can spoiler alert it. It's
Oh no,
you know,
I wasn't going to say that. Yeah, a character dies. It's very sad. You know,
insanely sad, and it's one of those things where sometimes you have to go through similar shit in your life.
well,
and
art imitating or life imitating art is a perfect example because I actually lived in
Yes.
Salt Lake City at one point where I had blue hair and my buddy had a black mohawk, and we didn't do it on purpose.
that's right.
Yeah,
You guys
so
totally
we
did.
lived
So
it for
cliche.
a summer. It was super cliche.
I love it. Bunch of posers.
Hey man, we literally picked an avenue and said, "That's right down the middle." But to be fair, I'm pretty sure I was like 18.
I do
So-
remember you taking that trip too. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That was a good one. Spend the summer there.
But
Salt Lake City, not a happening town.
I can't imagine so.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember there was this okay, so we went to the mall and we were just trying to find people to hang out with, and there was this
Okay.
one like really gothic girl, like over the top gothic, like the white face, the black makeup. We were like, oh man, she's got to know. So we walked up to her and we're like, hey, is there any way to like what's fun, the club party, whatever. I don't remember what exactly we said.
Okay.
We may have even been like, hey, do you know where we can buy weed? Like I genuinely don't know. But
with
whatever-
Jeff, I'm sure that was probably
But whatever we said scared her. And this really, really goth girl was just like, I don't know. And she like turned and ran from us. And I just have no idea to this day what that trigger was
you
because
guys changed the course of that woman's life. She went home, became super religious.
Oh my God.
Like she wears like she's a nun now.
Yeah,
actually.
right.
Yeah.
She's a straight-laced Republican.
What have you done?
shoot.
No, I'm kidding.
Anywho, yeah. So SLC Punk. I'm all
SLC
about that.
Punk guy.
SLC Punk. Go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way to segue from SLC Punk to Narnia. Oh, here's one.
On a
Hey Ryan,
segue.
have you done drugs?
I have.
Then you probably would love Narnia.
I know I would.
Anywho,
Mr. Tumnus.
look,
Where you been?
it's Mr. Thomas.
I thought it was Tumnus.
It's Thomas.
Oh, it's Thomas?
Yeah, you just couldn't understand an accent.
I guess I was young and I
Mr.
just was
Thomas.
Mr. Tumnus.
You know, John McAvoy or James
Yes.
McAvoy was Mr. Thomas.
That's right.
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
That wasn't me. That was Patricia.
Well, Greta Goldberg. Excuse me, I was Greta Gerwig. Gerwig? Yeah, Greta Gerwig.
There you
Excuse
go.
me. She's the woman who did Barbie.
Yes.
Yes, she's doing the Narnia movies with Netflix.
Oh, well, I mean, I hope she knocks it out of the park with this one, right? Because, I mean,
Well, they're doing the first book that's never been adapted before called The Magician's Nephew. But anyways, they're taking their time because it's been delayed till early 2027.
okay.
So that's a kind of a good sign when it comes to fantasy movies, in my opinion, because it's like, yeah, take your time, do the right effects.
That's true. And yeah, Netflix doesn't want to mess around, right? So it's going to be a Netflix original. So
Well, they are doing theater. She demanded it. She was like, "Hey guys, I gotta have a theatrical release."
no, and that's fair, right? They've done that already, haven't they?
Barely. Netflix is very
Stranger Things.
yes, but Netflix is very dubious about putting things in theaters. They have. It's only been in recent years they've allowed it, and a lot of it's because of award consideration. But other things have been like certain directors have been like, "We won't work with you unless we get a theatrical release."
Okay.
So it's an ongoing thing. I kind of wish, honestly, Netflix had bought Warner Brothers because they were promising, who knows if they were going to tell the truth, but they were promising they were going to keep Warner Brothers like name, even though Netflix would be the umbrella company, and they were still going to release movies theatrically. Everyone was worried that Netflix would now make all Warner Brothers Netflix exclusives, which I'm sure after a theatrical run would be the case. But that being said, their plan was to, have theatrical releases, and I don't like Paramount, and I don't like Paramount buying Warner Brothers, and that's a whole different dystopian conversation we don't need to talk about.
I remember being surprised that I had no idea Project Hail Mary was an Amazon original.
Hey,
I had no idea until I was in the theater, and then right before it started, the Amazon Smile logo came out, and I was like, really?
yeah, Amazon's committing to theatrical. They're
I had
doing a
no
lot of movies
idea.
theatrical. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know until I was literally there. So I didn't. So It leads me to believe that maybe they kind of hid that from the public because like they don't want people thinking like, oh, it's just another streaming movie.
I don't know if they hid that from the public. It's been pretty well known, but it's hard to tell because I'm in the circles and I look up movie news. So it's kind of hard for me to be like, that was known to the general people. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm not that as deep into it as you, but yeah, I didn't, I definitely saw, previews for it and I never saw anything like Amazon. Like I never ever saw that.
Right on.
So like, I don't know. So I guess that was my point of saying that like, yeah, some of these streaming services are finally bringing it back to the theaters, which is on this podcast. We love that.
Well, we love theaters.
That's right.
Just a couple things. There's nothing really more to say about this. Scrubs, the reboot, they're doing a season 2, so there's good there.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
I was. It's a nice feel good story.
That's good.
Kind of like Casper. Although Disney Plus is now doing a Casper the Ghost.
You just compared Scrubs to Casper.
I don't know, man. Casper's goofy as hell, and so is JD. I'm in. Casper could be JD, the character from Scrubs, who's dead.
What about the 3 creepy uncles
Epstein
that are
Trump,
never really described why they live with him?
It actually,
like he had parents. Why aren't they haunting it?
Ryan.
Sorry, I was thinking about Casper.
Yeah, you may find this hard to believe, but they did answer this.
Oh.
There is a straight-to-video sequel that came out 2 years later.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, so the first movie was Casper of Christina Ricci in 1995. Now, 2 years later, they had a straight-to-video sequel, and it starred Steve Guttenberg, mind you, and it was, and Laurel, I don't remember, but it was Casper, A Spirited Beginning. And it was Casper after he died, and he took a train, and he was supposed to go to spook school, but he skipped spook school and ended up in the small town in a different hotel. But then there was these 3 ghosts who were like, hey, he didn't go to school. We could train him to be the way we want him. And it's kind of a prequel, even though it's a completely different mansion and doesn't actually connect to the first one. And holy crap, it just became available digitally. So I've watched it for the first time in, 20 years recently. And the CGI is so bad.
Awesome.
Like comically bad. As a kid, I remember being like, oh, this isn't as good as the regular Casper movie, but it's still fine. It's not fine. It is the worst thing I've ever seen.
So they're not even related to him. They're just like 3 squatter ghosts.
Kinda.
Like predatory kidnapping ghosts.
According to that first one, yes.
Okay.
All right, but then
that answers my question.
I want to know is a year later when we have Casper Meets Wendy, which by the way is Lindsay Lohan. No, what's her name? Who the hell was Lizzie McGuire?
Oh, Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff is in the
Dude,
third.
she's on tour.
She's good.
That's
she's
right.
in the third Casper movie. She plays a ghost. No, a witch named Wendy.
Now
it's
I need
Casper
to see it.
Meets Wendy.
Hilary Duff is a gem
Is a gem.
of our time. One of the best actresses ever. Hands down.
I know she did
Hands
a show
down.
younger, but I don't know.
Hands down.
Anywho,
And
Disney's
a hell
doing
of a singer.
Disney's doing another Casper.
That's good. That's good. And Hilary Duff just wrote a new album too.
We already talked enough about Hilary Duff, right?
No, we have not.
Oh, you're right. We need to do a whole side podcast. We'll call it.
We'll make a whole new segment. Duff News.
Duff News. Getting down with the Duff.
That's right.
All right.
That's
Anyways,
right.
talk about this dead person.
All right, I will talk about this dead guy. Actor Buell Starr has passed away. Forgive me if I got that first name incorrect. At the age of 81, he appeared in multiple Halloween films as well as Goodfellas, leaving behind a long career of character roles across film and television.
That's right. So pour one out for him. But if you were a fan, we salute your work.
Always do.
I actually do remember this guy. He was just kind of that guy. He was just in a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
I think I actually know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
No, definitely from Goodfellas. I can think of who he was in Goodfellas.
Fair enough.
I think.
Okay, I'm done with pop culture.
Okay,
Let's
too.
Get aliens.
I like to go with the aliens, and we actually have like a really fun one this week.
Yeah, Ryan actually found us like a new alien species that
That's
we
right.
haven't talked about before. And we don't need to bury the lead. Here, guys, check out this week's
Disclosure discussion. Ha 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 ha. It's about aliens and stuff.
Everybody prepare yourselves for a new alien species. The Arcturians.
Who knew?
Arcturians are a race of benevolent, allegedly real extraterrestrial beings originating from the planet Pitoia of the Arcturus system. located approximately 36.7 light years from Earth in the constellation Booties. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I'm going to say it.
It cannot be Booties.
It's BOO with like the weird double dots above the second O, TES. So I'm going to say Booties.
Otage. What is the 2 dots? It's an accent, right?
Something like that. But we're going to say Booties. So regarded as one of the most spiritually and technologically advanced in civilizations in the Milky Way, Arcturians are known for their peaceful nature and concern for the welfare and future of Earth.
They're the hippies of the galaxy.
I like them already.
Yeah.
They are believed to be one of the founding members of the Galactic Federation of United Planets.
Are you sure that's not Star Trek? Because when I read
we
that,
spoke of this before.
I know, but every time I hear that, and I get that is like a legit alien theory that this is real, but like that feels so sci-fi, early 2000s sci-fi channel.
But it makes sense too, though. You know?
It's hard. It's hard to be taken seriously when you're like the Galactic Federation of Planets.
Of United Planets.
Of United Planets.
It's either in unison.
Ha ha!
It's better than just a bunch of planets just willy-nilly. They're in unison.
It's Ryan and the Galactic Federation of United Planets. It's a 70s cartoon is what it is, Ryan.
That's right. And every, rehearsal is every Thursday, so everybody knows the number.
Da-da, da-da.
That's right. So they're known for looking out for us. They are believed to be one of the founding members, like I said, of the Galactic Federation of United Planets, alongside the Lyrans and the Andromedans.
Yeah.
And have reportedly been in orbit around Earth since the late 1940s.
It's like a space station?
Or maybe just like
a ship? They're just chilling?
Maybe just kind of scientific research,
Yeah, why not?
The physical appearance of Arcturians is superficially similar to that of the Greys or the Sasani, though they are unrelated. Greys are classified as plant-based life forms.
Which I've never heard before.
And that's why I loved that this was in here. And I'm like, ooh.
Are they plant-based?
Because we only included talking about the Greys when we talked about the reptilians because technically they said in that article that the Greys were... they kind of splice some reptilian DNA to create them.
And then I heard that the Greys are, future humans after we spent prolonged periods in space. So let's just be straight. We're not sure what the Greys are. We need to have an episode of just the Greys.
I agree.
And we'll cover them all.
And there's so much to cover. That's why, I want to make sure we do it right.
Yeah. And we'll call it Shades of Grey.
I love it.
That's what
Shades of Greys.
Yeah, there
you go. That way it's
you brought it home.
There you go.
Home. Yeah, good job.
So this says, we're a little shocked about that the Greys are classified as plant-based life forms, while
I'm a fungus.
while Sasani are mammals.
Okay.
Arcturians, by contrast, possess a large amount of amphibian DNA. They are short in stature, measuring approximately 4.5 feet tall, and they are in height, and they are characterized by large, dark, almond-shaped eyes, long arms, and short legs. We've seen this example of what we thought were Greys. Maybe they were Arcturians.
Yeah.
I
guess they're a little bit bluer.
Little bluer.
I know they're asexual.
Yep, that's coming up. They have 4 digits on each hand. Their heads are notably large and rounded with a watermelon-like shape. Their facial features include barely visible.
So wait, if they're the watermelon type shape, that's like the extended skull in the back, right?
Correct.
That feels very Egyptian. That feels very King Tut. You know what I mean?
Right, but that we associate more with the Anunnaki.
Yeah, but you know what else? If they're kind of blue, that's Indian gods are blue.
That's true.
Yeah. This is all coming together, man.
I mean, it really is, right? And that's why I love any new piece of information I get. I'm going to tell you guys, whether or not, even if it's like, hey, we said this before, but I heard this just now.
Gary down the street told me this.
We need every factor if we're going to figure this out.
Especially Gary.
Disclosure is not easy, everybody.
I want a website called Gary on the Street.
Gary is sort of, he's doing his best. He's doing his best. Their facial features include barely visible ears and nostrils, along with exceptionally wide mouth that nearly stretches from ear to ear. See, that's new to me.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's very frightening.
Yeah, anything that could like swallow your head.
And you don't know. Their skin tone ranges, like you said, from a deep blue to a brown blue to a dark purple, depending on the subspecies, which I actually included here in just a bit. Arcturians are asexual, like you had mentioned, and lack gender differentiation.
They don't got the dangly pots.
They don't. Their reproductive process is regarded as highly unusual by most human standards. And I'm sure a lot of human standards are considered highly unusual to them.
Yeah, but like, by most human standards, like 4 guys over there didn't think it was that weird, but the rest of us, we're like, that is not okay.
And don't look over there because they're totally into it.
Yeah, they're watching and breathing heavy.
Just let them do.
They're
their
the
thing.
toddler and tiara coaches. All right, sorry.
Oh God,
You have a very beautiful child.
oh. This is disturbing.
Yeah.
So, when an Arcturian reaches an advanced stage of biological aging, an embryonic clone begins to form in a pouch in the abdominal area, giving the appearance of a potbelly, which we've seen actually depictions of like Greys with like a big belly before as well.
Yeah, also pregnancy.
Correct.
I don't know where you think the bump is, but it's pretty much right in the pot belly.
Over time, the parent's consciousness is transferred to the infant, and the adult eventually dies due to lack of conscious presence in the original body. The clone, born fully aware and independent, breaks free by consuming and emerging from within the parent's body. So it's like
They're
you just-
phoenixes.
you just
Yeah.
kind of renew, and the new you eats you
Okay,
on its way out.
I'm fine with all of that, but does that mean there's like a handful of consciousness and there's never more? Because if you think about that, that means your numbers are always going to dwindle because different versions of like your species would die randomly. Like let's say disease, let's say you get hit by a car.
You
But if
get
there's
taken out by a reptilian.
Yeah, but if you are just always cloning yourself, eventually the more and more that die, the race is going to slowly bottleneck to nothing because they're not like no one can have 2 aliens. Do you
No,
see what I'm saying?
You're right, because they can't make more. You're just remaking one.
And if that's the case, how did it all start? It's a literal chicken and the egg conundrum, Ryan.
It really is. I didn't even think about that till you brought that up.
Well, you don't think enough about alien sex. It is all I think about.
He's
I stay up at night thinking about how different species get the boogie woogie on.
Why does this remind me of like the Stan Lee moment in Mallrats where it's like, he's a little overly obsessed with superhero genitalia.
Yeah,
That's you, but with aliens.
I have no rebuttal. Continue.
In some rare cases, particularly when another species chooses to reincarnate as an Arcturian. So there you go. That's how. So other species just kind of choose to be like, you know what? I'm going to come back as an Arcturian.
Are you telling me this whole rant can be boiled down to wait to the next line?
Wait to the next line.
That is like literally a metaphor for my life.
I love
Continue.
this.
Yeah.
I love this. Twins or triplets may
Fuck,
actually
they really
be produced
answered it
that
all?
way. Yeah, they really
Son
did.
of a bitch.
It is also possible for clones to be artificially grown in bioengineered pods, so they can straight up just grow
Yeah, of course they can.
new
Whatever.
Arcturians. Arcturians are primarily insectivorous, feeding on a wide range of arthropods, including insects, arachnids, and centipedes.
Gross.
In addition to animal protein, they also consume fermented vegetables. All right,
So they
that's-
get drunk. Yeah.
so they get fucked up.
Yeah,
I
they
like
get
it.
drunk. It's fine. But also, if you were just like a species that ate bugs, you'll never go hungry. There are bugs everywhere. I don't know about their planet.
They
but like
say,
they're-
yeah, like a handful of bugs is more protein than like the fattest steak.
I'll eat the steak.
I'll eat the steak,
I just
but
don't want a heart attack, so I'll also eat the turkey burger.
I've eaten bugs.
What?
I've done it.
Okay,
When
but-
it's cooked and shit, like crickets and stuff. I've tried them. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just, yeah, it's a mental thing.
I understand that there's so many places in the world where it is completely
Very normal.
Very,
yeah,
very normal.
we're weird that we don't.
I don't know, man. I just can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I can if I'm starving, but like it would. I don't know.
Timon and Pumbaa taught me everything, you know?
That is not true. You do not live by Hakuna Matata. There are many worries in Ryan's world.
It means there's worries for
I'm
the
constantly
rest of my
freaked
days.
out.
Demonetized. I was gonna stop. I was gonna stop for that reason. Don't
Yeah.
want to demonetize and don't want to spiral.
All right, we should probably jump back into this aliens so Ryan can keep his money and not give it to a therapist.
So there are 3 subspecies of Arcturians known for now. 3. I'm gonna do my best. Dicelentiplex, the most common subspecies and one most frequently involved with Earth. The Curendian, the tallest of the 3, typically exhibiting pale blue skin with dark spots.
The hot one.
And the Devonian, which is the shortest and the rarest subspecies, and the characteristic is purple skin.
Mm.
Arcturian technology is widely regarded as among the most advanced in the galaxy. They are capable of growing machines from cells and producing complex devices that develop into metal structures. That's interesting.
That's pretty cool. I love the growing metal stuff.
Me too, because that explains a lot. What's his name? Bob Lazar, right? Who supposedly went into, and he went into air to check out
Very
these different
famous
ships.
whistleblower, yeah.
And he said that they were seamless. That he got to poke his head inside of a UFO, and he said literally there were no seams. It was completely seamless. It was almost as if it was just made like that. Right here explains that. If it literally just grew to be like, isn't that crazy? Like
yeah, I'm down with you.
like
That's cool.
it was cool because I had to tie that into that for myself.
These gosh darn Vimanas are finally getting discovered.
So their starships are preferably spherical in shape, and we've seen tons of spherical UFOs. UAP.
That's true. There's orbs all the time are reported. It's almost the second most reported than anything else is like straight up orbs.
I agree.
Around. Yeah.
Like it's like that one, the triangle one, and of course the symbol of NASA that we've seen tons of those. Where it's like it almost looks like a check mark, and that's like the symbol of NASA, and it's actually been long said that is probably one of the original UFOs that they ever saw, and that's why it inspired the logo.
That's a whole different rabbit hole. I know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to jump down that one next week.
Yeah, do that. If you actually can make that as discussion,
I think I could.
I just do like aliens and their connection with NASA.
Ooh,
yeah. I want.
That's a fun one. All right, guys, I'll do my best.
Excellent.
So yes, they prefer spherical shaped UFOs, although oval and discoid configurations are also used. Arcturians are frequently cited in extraterrestrial lore as the architects of Earth's moon, but we've also heard this about reptilians, but we'll listen to this first.
So the architects of our moon?
They believe
so
that
it's a
it
Dyson
was
sphere.
a structure that was placed in orbit approximately 12,500 years ago in collaboration with the Andromedans, now used to stabilize Earth environment following the destruction of the planet Tiamat, or otherwise known as Phaethon.
Hold on. Is that the planet that takes place between, was it Saturn and Mars? They're basically
I think so.
where the asteroid belt is. They propose that could have been a planet, and that's what the asteroid belt is.
And it's interesting because Tiamat is also the name of like a god dragon.
You're not wrong.
So like it makes you wonder if all these things are tied.
Well, they are. That's why we do the show, man.
That's right. Yeah.
But if they built the moon, because earlier you said that they've been orbiting the Earth since like 1940, whatever, right?
Yeah, 1940. Yeah.
So maybe that's off, and it's like way thousands of years earlier, and where they're orbiting is the moon. What if the moon is where they're orbiting? They said they built it.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, these jerks are on the other side now.
We told them to stay away.
Like,
well,
I'm
come
sure
on,
they
Greg.
did.
They stayed they stayed away for 50 years.
And now, now they got to deal with like Chinese
Hi,
drones,
Artemis!
and here's Artemis coming by. Next year they're gonna land.
Oh,
There's a lot going on here, and we're not even done. The Arcturians are peaceful, wise, and highly spiritual beings as well.
Yeah, they're insufferable. They go door to door and ask, "Hey, have you heard about the Savior? Google him. Google him. He'll save you all."
You just give them cookies; they'll go away.
Oh, my dad
And milk.
when he was
and milk. If you give an Arcturian a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk.
I was going to make a joke about answering the door naked for Mormons, but you win.
Oh.
I'm just saying it
Did
stops
I
them.
ruin answering the door naked for Mormons?
It stops them dead in their track.
I am so sorry, guys.
I've
I
only
ruined that.
had one of them wink at me.
Only one.
Only one.
I would wink.
I mean, you got to hand it to him. He's quick on his toes. He wasn't surprised. He was just like, I was ready for this.
Maybe he's.
I've been waiting
maybe
to see some naked people. That's why I joined the Mormon church.
Needs a brother husband. You know,
Maybe.
You never know.
I don't know. I couldn't get down with the magic underwear. All right, I'm sorry. Let's keep going. Keep going. It's
There's
fine.
magic underwear now.
In Mormon? Yeah. Do you not know about the magic underwear? I'm actually not kidding.
I am not either.
Yes.
Okay,
Well-
Mormon. That the name of this episode
Is Mormon magic
is
underwear?
Mormon magic underwear.
It probably won't be.
It probably won't be, but it should be. So,
Back to aliens.
these Arcturians, these guys,
Yeah.
they do not have centralized leadership or a hierarchical governance. Instead, decisions are made collectively. Arcturians have no use for money in the traditional sense, like most other interstellar races, other than us.
They're better than us, all of them.
I have to work a lot for it.
Why is it that we are always like the jerks in the universe? Everyone is so much more evolved than us. What can't we just find one species that is just like the dumbasses that we can be like, yeah, you're not like humans.
That's right.
Stupid glop orbs.
Look at these glop orbs.
Dumbasses. But no, we're the dumbasses, right? They're like, ha, 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 we have no need for money.
And they're
You
just-
silly man.
And they're all just like, they even think the glop orbs are dumb. That's how dumb the humans are.
They don't realize they're doing quantum math in their heads right now.
Well, why do we sound like Sling Blade?
I want some French fried potatoes.
Mhm.
I like Sling Blade.
Me too. So their architecture, let's talk about their architecture.
Oh my God, buildings.
Reflects their affinity for harmony with nature. They live in around dwellings floating on water, connected by elevated walkways. These structures can be very large, and even their largest infrastructures are afloat, allowing them to be moved from one location to another.
I wonder how much of their planet is water.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be. Like, why else would you do that? Oh my God, maybe they came to Earth and they're the reason the ship was Atlantis. I'm just sorry. I'm always trying to figure out Atlantis.
You're not Atlantis.
They're talking about
I'm okay with
floating,
that.
They're talking about floating cities on water. So it stands to reason that a ship of these guys could have come down, chilled in our oceans, and was Atlantis for a while, and maybe they just took off.
Honestly, that's a great distinction. Well done.
I've solved Atlantis.
There we go.
I knew it took
Arcturians.
It took 126 episodes, but we've solved Atlantis, guys.
And one man named Joe. That guy.
You may all touch me.
I said, who wants to freaking touch
Who
me?
wants to touch me? Exactly.
South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut reference. So music plays a role in their cultural expression,
Oh yeah.
though it is typically monotone and
my God.
minimalistic by human standards and lacks the complexity of human or Pleiadian music, which we did the Pleiadians a few episodes ago.
Yeah, you hear
So
that?
I just
It's-
imagine just.
I was thinking of Enya. Like, sail away, sail away. That's really annoying. You gotta stop. But I'm thinking like elevator music.
I was thinking just monotone, just one note.
But even if it was monotone, they gotta have more than one note. Like,
That wouldn't be monotone. That'd be multitone. Monotone is one.
You win this round. Only with your literal translation.
Yes. So, as a civilization, Arcturians are known as explorers and cartographers of uncharted space.
I like maps.
They have established colonies on multiple worlds throughout the galaxy. The language of the Arcturians is known as, oh boy, Zada Acetate,
Yeah, Zeta acetate. What the fuck?
which is verbal telepathic. A variant of this language, simply known as Corendian, is also used and much easier to say.
Yeah, in Animorphs, it's called thought speak.
Very well. Very well. Yes. Arcturians.
By the way, Ryan, I am on book 14.
I'm sure you are.
There's only 50 more to go.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
All
You'll solve this mystery yet.
Yeah.
You will save us all from these aliens with children that turn into animals.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it hasn't been tried before.
I mean,
Moving on.
moving on. Arcturians originate from Pitoya, a tropical swamp planet located on the inner edge of the Arcturus' habitable zone.
Okay, so if the whole planet's swampy, that makes sense. That's
There
kind of
you
cool.
go.
That's better than an ocean planet. It's kind of fun because now I'm imagining a whole planet that's like Dagobah.
I was just about to say, Yoda would approve. So the planet is considered a super habitable world, offering ideal conditions for complex life. Pitoya is characterized by high humidity and temperatures ranging from 85 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Its gravitational strength is relatively low, averaging about 0.63 times the gravity of Earth.
I don't want to poke holes, but how the fuck do we know all of this? Like, who the hell is just like, this alien planet is 80 degrees? Like,
I love it. That's why I'm like,
it's
bet.
so specific.
I only got one thing left.
All right.
One thing left. Arcturians require an atmosphere composed of 90% oxygen exactly
How do
to
you know
breathe comfortably, and may need to wear an apparatus when visiting other civilizations, such as ours.
Yes, yes. And what you don't know is they're actually living on this planet right now. They're known as nerds. And every time you hear them getting that inhaler, that's them just getting that extra oxygen, Ryan. I saw Revenge of the Nerds 1 through 4 this week. I felt like
Really?
doing a
You
deep
got
dive.
to watch the first one?
Yes.
I thought you couldn't find it
I
anymore.
had to go on eBay and find a DVD. I bought a DVD
Nice.
of it, but it's
Of course you did.
like I don't. Of course I
I love
did.
it. Yeah.
You gotta Revenge of the Nerds, man.
I just
is a
remember the
legacy
laugh.
on it of itself. I kind of want to make the dude just died. It was the guy who played Hilary Duff's dad in Lizzie McGuire was
Yep.
the main character,
Mhm.
Lewis from Revenge of the Nerds. And when he died, my dreams of doing a legacy sequel died with him. It's okay.
No, it's not. It's honestly not
Thank
okay.
you.
No, it
Thank you.
sucks. No, like I love that movie, and it's
Yes.
it's so funny because it's like people are saying like, man, this and I get it. It was messed up, but it was from the '80s, and it was a
What-
weird movie. It was supposed to be
what
funny.
Ryan
It was
is re-
comedy.
Well, what Ryan was referring to is like I swear to God, in many 80s movies, there is a scene that by today's standards would be considered sexual assault.
Yes.
There's no other way to word it. He lied about who he was, slept with a girl who thought
Dressed as Darth Vader.
who thought he was someone else. It's not a good look. That's part of the reason why they're not super stoked on like bringing it back to the modern day. However, Revenge of the Nerds is a great story. Do you know the third and fourth one are made for TV movies?
I did not know that.
Yes. It is
I've
such
only
good
seen
journey.
the first two. That's it. I only saw the first one and the second one.
Okay, well, I actually recommend the third and fourth one. It's just a lot of fun. But you remember the character Booger?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so this is fun. He plays a character on American Dad, Steve Smith's long-term friend who's been in every season, whose name's Snot.
Yep.
So it
Yep.
started as a joke that I am guaranteed when that show first started, they're like, you're going to play Snot. He played Booger. And then like 20 seasons later, they're still doing this.
And he was Booster in the best Christmas film of all time, Jingle All the Way. That's right.
Yeah. You know, Jingle All the Way 2 starred Larry the Cable Guy. Why does that exist? I don't know, but it does. Anywho,
Now I know I'll never see that.
well, you know, guys, do you think Larry the Cable Guy is a weird choice? I think it's a weird choice. Let's talk about other things that are weird and in the world. That was a perfect segue.
Zero fat on that transition, Joe.
Perfect.
Real world weird.
All right, guys, like Scrotum, here it is in a nutshell. Going right into real world weird.
This is what happens when I tell him he can do whatever he wants.
This is Joe's fault, not mine. So, starting off with, we're all doomed.
Yay! Best
Yay.
headline ever. All right, we're all doomed.
Let's see why. People are now using AI to recreate their exes because apparently deleting their number was just too emotionally healthy.
Yeah.
A tool called X.skill, also referred to as X/partner, X-Skill has been making headlines in China. The idea is simple, strange, and deeply uncomfortable.
Totally uncomfortable. Can you imagine if like one of your exes did it's keep going. We'll talk
Yes,
about it in a second.
it is. You're right. When you talk about it that way, that is really weird. Like
Yeah.
if someone was like talking to an AIU like
Yeah,
every day.
Based on who you were, which let's be honest, we never present who we actually are in like messages and texts 100%, right? Even if you're trying to be the most honest you could be, it's still like 95%. So it's never going to be an actual recreation of you,
Right.
no matter how sophisticated I don't know. Keep reading the
But it's
article.
going to want to be you, and then eventually they're
It'll
going to
kill you.
That's what I'm saying.
It'll
They're going to
take your life.
They will eventually go into full animatronic robots, and they will be like, "No,
And-
I am Joe.
I will be replaced.
We are not Joe. I am Joe."
Dun 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 dun.
Right? So, users can feed the program old relationship material like chat logs, photos, social media posts, and personal memories.
What
and
does that mean?
And it generates it. Well, you know what that means.
Here's my sex tape.
And it generates an AI version of a former partner.
This just feels icky.
This is so icky, dude. Made by very, very lonely people. According to the project's own GitHub page, the goal is to create a digital persona that can talk in a person's style, remember shared places, and even use familiar catchphrases. The creators describe it as being for personal reflection and emotional healing.
It's for health. Don't worry about it. No one's trying to be a queep.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
While also warning that it should not be used for harassment, stalking, or privacy invasion. Just completely recreate another human being.
Yeah.
That's not invading at all.
Look, you need to upload every message they ever sent you, but be mindful of their privacy.
If you could.
If you could, just a little bit.
Oh, still.
Yeah.
The privacy
It's
concerns are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
In many cases, this would involve uploading another person's messages, photos, and personal history into an AI system, possibly without that person's consent, and let's face it, definitely
Yeah. And
without that person's consent.
And let's talk about naughty photos. How many exes have you sent naughty photos to that you would not want them feeding into an AI?
And they say most of these AI things that are like they're like, oh, don't worry, it's designed to not help you do these things that it's designed not to. Like it's like the guy from Austin Powers. If you ask him 3 times, it'll eventually do it. It does it. Literally, if you just keep asking, it eventually goes, okay. And it does it.
It's actually true. I was making a video and I wanted to make the kid version of me from a photograph look like he's driving a bus, like he stole a bus. And I told it I wanted it to create that. And it did. And then it said, oh, I'm sorry, this is against our rules. You know, it puts kids in danger. So then I wrote, oh, don't worry, this is a joke. I'm doing it for a funny video. And then it created it.
Yep.
Like,
All you have to do, you have to
all
prompt
right.
it. If you prompt it,
talk it into it.
that's and people are.
Yeah, it's
People are.
like, I want this person naked. Be like, we can't. That's against our things. It's art. All right.
It's for religion.
All right, here's boobs.
Religion.
Oh,
And it'll go, okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he's a Apostosaurus.
The what? The what's the source?
Apostosaurus. It's what we call this this spoon that's a pasta maker that we got on my honeymoon. It looks like a dinosaur head and has teeth. But I was actually referring to there's a religion of the flying spaghetti monster.
Yes.
And there's an actual thing where people have gotten photos of them with their driver's license with a colander on their head
Mhm.
under the guise of religion because the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is a real thing.
And it
And you
is a
can't
real
prosecute.
thing. Make sure you keep your Pastosaurus ladle on you at all times.
I wish I had the Pastosaurus. You should see it. It's a lot of fun. We bought it and we knew we were never going to use it. We just got it because it was a dinosaur head. I was going to give it to my son to play with Play-Doh.
I mean, why not?
That has nothing to do with anything. Pastosaurus.
So, back to this horrific article. Supporters say it could help people get closure after a breakup with this AI device that recreates your ex.
Or it could prolong your obsession forever.
Sounds about right. Critics say it could make an emotional attachment worse
Yes.
or turn someone's private life into a chatbot they never agreed to become.
Well,
And that's what freaks me out. Like, imagine someone else. You have no idea. Like, you think they moved on. You think that you've moved on. You've got like a new life, and they are literally talking to a
robot you.
every
Becky?
morning
Yeah.
at all, like getting them through the workday. That's freaky.
Well, what's freaky to me is the never being able to move on. I mean, I remember 2 particular exes in my life that took a long time for me to get over that breakup. And I feel like something like this would have made it so much worse.
No, we are the title was correct. We're all doomed.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the title of this article, everybody.
But also, what happens when you've spent more time with the AI creation you've made than the actual person?
And that's the worry, right? And I mean, we see it with just
Well,
regular cell phone use. Everyone's just.
What if, okay, hold on though. You date someone for 2 years, but then you've had this for 4. Do you even know who that person actually was? Or is it now just more of your fake version of them that you're remembering and attached to?
It's so wrong. It's so bad for you, right? You can, because yeah, you're now in love. You're obsessed with an AI generated program. I mean, yeah, it's going off of this and that you fed it, but
You know, it is all good. It's gonna happen though. We're gonna have robot gigolos. I swear to God, like they did in AI. There was a character was a robot gigolo, and I'm serious. I'm not trying to be crude. I'm not trying to be gross. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
We have real dolls and we have AI that we can talk dirty to. How long before we have sexy robots for people to buy?
you know that they are working night and day.
We're gonna have sexy robots before we have like actual like maid or like lawnmower robots.
When let's face it,
it can't do my taxes, it can't mow my lawn, but I can have sex with it. So
and let's
I'm in.
face it, the
Science.
moment that they nail it good enough, like it doesn't have to be perfect, but once it's good enough, oh yeah. It's on.
I mean, no disrespect.
People
to
are
anyone.
banging robots.
Exactly. People are probably people bang throw pillows. They're
Yeah,
gonna
they
bang
bang
robots.
butts. Like you can just buy a butt.
A butt. You can buy
Yeah,
a butt.
you know,
I
like
kind of like the pillow that was lying. Okay, so it wasn't sex because it wasn't a rubber with something you could fuck. It was a pillow, but it had a seam to make the butt shape, and they sold it so you could like lay on the butt pillow, and it was like the
yes,
comfort of laying on an ass.
incredible.
I swear to God, it was a real thing.
I mean, yeah, you know, and without the worry
Humans
of
are
farts,
fun.
that's awesome. Like you can lay
Yeah.
on a butt, no farts. Like you know, that's wholesome. That is so
That's
nice.
beautiful. I just imagine like the Indian turning his face to the camera with a single tear. Like, this is where humans are. Anywho,
We are doomed. No, I mean honestly, there's only one line left here, and
Yep.
it just says so. Basically, the future of heartbreak is here, and somehow it's even more depressing than drunk texting at 2 a.m.
Let's all take a shower.
Yeah. That brings us to the next article called "What a Jackass."
Don't worry, it's relevant.
A zoo in Armenia had to clear up a very important question this week. Did a zebra escape, or did someone just paint a donkey?
Which is a question I ask myself every weekend. Like, did
Did
someone
you paint a
did
donkey?
you just paint a donkey? Is that a painted donkey?
That honestly sounds like a good new saying we could just bring up now.
Yeah.
They're like, man, what were you doing? Painting a donkey?
Yeah, right. Or is that a UFO or a UAP, or is that just a painted donkey?
You're painting donkeys.
God, gotta quit painting donkeys. Stupid Armenian zoos. Sorry, I don't mean you might be awesome. I've never been to Armenia. Could be
In
great.
Yerevan, Armenia, people reportedly spotted what looked like a zebra wandering near Myasnikayan Avenue,
Right on.
across from the Yerevan Zoo. Naturally, the story started spreading as if one of the zoo's zebras had made a break for freedom. But according to the Yerevan Zoo, that is not what happened. The zoo said the whole thing was an unsuccessful joke. A person whose
I don't know. It seems funny.
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
A person who's identified was still being determined by law enforcement had apparently painted their donkey with zebra-like stripes and brought it to the area to shoot a video.
That makes perfect sense. Could you not see that? Like, I'm going to paint a donkey like a zebra and go outside of a zebra zoo and be like, I'm going to make a video to be fun. I can see this 100%. This
That's right.
Yeah. It's weird. It's real world weird, but it makes sense.
Wasn't Chris Rock voiced the zebra in Madagascar, so you could just use like a soundboard like on your video of like Chris Rock and just have like the zebra like your painted.
Why not?
Right?
You know, you're thinking outside the box, Ryan, and that's what I like.
See, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
The zoo also made sure to reassure everybody that its actual zebras were safe and still inside their enclosure. Having a good day.
All right, guys, I know this is funny, but really, we're competent. Our zebras didn't escape.
This is George.
Yeah.
He is fine.
George in the jungle, and do you and me. Sorry, that's unrelated.
So, no. Yerevan did not have a zebra escape. It had something much weirder. A donkey in cosplay, a confused public, and one prankster who may have taken content creation a little too far.
For the record, I completely disagree.
Me too.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
You need to do as much content creation. If you're going as far as painting donkeys, I want to see where your art will take you next, sir.
I mean, you know, I feel like even the donkey's in on this because I feel like donkeys like to just like be jerks to people. In my experience, most donkeys are jerks.
Well, they like to live up to the word jackass.
They kind of are.
That's why the article is, what a jackass.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliantly put, and I knew it was totally your wording. I love it.
Aha.
What else I love? What else I love? This podcast and the people who listen to it. Thank you guys, because I actually think that this brings us to the end of it for this week anyway.
Yeah, it's the end of the show. But it was a good one. It was a long one.
It was.
Yeah.
That's what they say about us. We got long ones.
Ho-ho!
And, you know, when it comes to the podcast. Anyways, but no, guys, do us a favor. Download this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. It actually goes a very long way.
Downloading the episode really is the best way to support the show.
It really is. And, of course, you know, I always say your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to share this episode. Yes, this one exactly. With a friend, with a coworker, anyone else who's on the line like me or something like that at the workplace, and you're like, man, I got a long commute and I don't know what to listen to. Well, hey, why don't you check out the new episode of Earthling Entertainment, available everywhere, new episodes every Thursday.
That's right, guys. And if you're looking for another way to support the show, you could check out the official Earthling Entertainment coloring book on Amazon.
That's right, only $14.99.
That's true. 160 pages. All right, we're done plugging the punk.
Hey.
Guys, seriously, thanks for watching and or listening wherever you guys are. And thanks. We're good. See you next week.
Goodbye, guys.
See ya.